howdy there, my rootin' tootin' cowboys and girls and other. How are you? Oh my gosh. It still feels so weird that I cut my hair. It's like it feels so short. I cut like, yeah, I cut like 5 inches off of it. It was pretty long. It just kept breaking. So, but yeah, sorry. I'm just gonna be distracted by that for a second. Get me off screen. Get me out of here. Okay, I want to see you. Hi, it's Baphomet. Mama Mephistopheles, we got Dormy Darth Gently said first. What's up? Hello, what's up, Kodiak? Hello, everyone. I hope everybody's having a good time. I'm making hot dogs. Anybody want one? I am good. I just had a bunch of cereal. I filled up on cereal. I'm 2 weeks out of the psych ward. Nice. Did you go in voluntarily? I hope you went in voluntarily. That's at least 2 people I know who've gone inpatient this year. So I'm glad that you're out. I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you got everything you needed from going inpatient. As someone from the Midwest, I can't imagine voluntarily going inpatient because, like, I don't know. It's like 2 people I know who live in the Pacific Northwest who are like, I'm going to voluntarily go in. And, like, I guess I know someone else who was not in a good situation in the Pacific Northwest today, also gaming today, maybe toward the end. I don't want to, I don't want to stray too far away from my brand, which is doing trans political content, et cetera, et cetera. So I do want to maybe play a little bit of Cats Are Liquid at the very end, just progress in that game since we started playing it on stream together. I might end up replaying one of the worlds because I don't remember if we played. Did we play World 5? I don't know. I can't remember. So I'm going to start on World 5 and hope that I didn't already do that one. What's up, Dormew? Hello. PNW doctors are way more progressive and way more compassionate. IMO. Yeah. Not to say that Southern ones aren't compassionate, just that it's way too risky for me to want to go in voluntarily. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, in the Midwest or in the South, I would not want to go in. Would not be my thing. Hella, that's so exciting. Listen. That makes me so happy. Hella says, my shipment of new seeds got here and I should be able to plant them in March. I love that. I love that. I am going to have a community garden spot this year. My name is down for one. I just have to pay a rental fee. I think that the plots are like 10 foot by 10 foot. I'm not totally sure though. I have not been to the community garden yet. So, I mean, it's cold. So there's kind of no reason for me to be there. Snow on the ground. I won't be able to even see where the plots are. So yeah, I'm excited. And I will say, Hella, if you're going to be growing something like peppers, you might consider starting them indoors sooner, depending on when your frost dates are expected to be. But, some stuff that has a kind of long growing season, you can start them indoors and then plant the little plants. They have little seed starter kits. But anyway, yeah, springtime, listen, it's deep in the winter right now. It's been so cold. It's been so cold in Kansas, you guys. Like, it finally has been a little bit less cold this week. But man, I'm gonna see my psychiatrist this Friday and ask to be evaluated for DPD, which I assume is dissociative personality disorder and borderline personality disorder. Don't know why it took me this long to consider that I might have them. Progress being made all around. Haven't seen you guys in so long. It's so good to have you back. Yeah, it's definitely your name. We notice when you're not here. Like your name not coming up in chat. Oh, dependent personality disorder. I see. I've never heard of that one, I don't think. But yeah, it's always good to have a better direction for diagnosis, like a better idea of where it is that you're going with your diagnosis process rather than just kind of being like, I don't know what my problem is and I don't know what to do. Because once you get your diagnosis, I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. I don't really talk about it that much because I graduated from the program. Like, hey, don't know who my OO, what's up? Just got back from first day of DBT skills group. That is very exciting to me to hear because I was just about to say, Like, so as somebody who has graduated from the DBT program, like I did therapy once a week, I think, with my individual therapist, or maybe every other week. And then I was doing group therapy once a week. And then when you first start group therapy, that's teaching you the skills. They give you a binder that has like all these different tabs in it, and all of this is like different segments of evidence-based therapy stuff. And it's still useful to me, even as someone who graduated the program. So I was in that regiment of like individual therapy and group therapy for over a year, I think. And then I switched my group therapy to the advanced DBT group, which it's not so much that they're teaching you the skills so much as it's like you get more nuanced and interesting conversations about the skills. And I have been revisiting this week. I also bought myself the teacher's manual. I decided to buy myself the teacher's manual for DBT. And yeah, like I think it's a really good resource for anybody who has BPD in particular, because it's like the only evidence-based practice for treating BPD, and it's highly effective. And I'm recognizing that I'm doing stuff in the dialectic framework that is like it's possible to shake out of it if I just reference the part of the book that tells me like which skills I can use to shake out of it. Like one of them's called apparent competence, and the opposite dialectic for that is like something to do with like helplessness. But like I don't ask for help. I am just constantly doing things and projecting this image like I have my shit together and I'm doing. And that's one of the dialectics. And because I know that that's not good for me, I can go in like I did this week. And I was like, okay, if this is where I'm locked in, then what are the skills that I can use to get out of it? So it's good to have something that's telling you like actions that you can take, basically, if that makes sense. Like it's so easy when you're overwhelmed by your emotions and you're all like depressed and stuff to just be like floundering in it, right? And it is just nice to have therapy that gives you skills that you can use to then deal with those situations as they come up in real time. That's what therapy is good for. Good therapists are so hard to find. The only one in my area is stupid transphobic. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I hit the gold mine with my therapist. Like she was perfect for me, I think. And I saw her for almost 2 years, and then she quit her job. And I was really upset. But my new therapist is good. She takes care of me, and I like her as well. It's a totally different kind of therapy. I'm not doing DBT specific stuff anymore. I was doing just general, I was like doing specifically PTSD therapy, and now I'm just generally talking through my issues and that kind of stuff. We reference DBT skills and my therapist is familiar with them, but that's like not the kind of therapist that she is. Oh yeah. Yeah. If you're in the process of getting trans related surgeries, you do have to be in therapy anyway, because a lot of insurance and surgeons and stuff require therapist letters. So you might as well have a relationship with a therapist in that regard. Oh no, my therapist refused to use my chosen name until it was, quote, legally changed. Oh no. I hope that you didn't go to them for very long. Like, that's awful. No. Kenzie is delivering sandwiches in 9 inches of snow, but I'll be listening. Wish me luck. Oh my God, good luck, comrade. I salute you. I don't know if you're probably just listening, but you're being saluted right now. My partner's therapist was met, but their practice has been double billing 2 different insurance companies. What's a little light fraud between friends? Okay. Yikes. I dipped after like 4 appointments. So anyway, I am so glad that I did DBT. It was such an intensive program, but I honestly think that anybody could learn from DBT skills. I don't think that it's like exclusively if you have borderline personality disorder, because it's like a lot of the stuff in here, like there's an entire section called interpersonal effectiveness, which is just basically teaching you like the evidence-based method for like, okay, here's how you clarify your goals, and here, if your goals are such and such in a particular interaction, then like here's what you should do, here's how you should approach that, like this is the way that other people are going to respond psychologically, you know. And then yeah, and like emotion regulation skills, everybody could use some help understanding and naming and addressing their emotions. Like mindfulness is so good for you. Oh my god. It's like so healthy for you to do mindfulness practice. And yeah, so that's my recommendation. I was diagnosed with psychotic depression last year, and my mindset for most of last year has been, okay, well, I'm thoroughly fucked in a way therapy can't help anyway because my brain is totally detached from reality most of the time. Not the healthiest mindset to have, admittedly. Yeah, I think that with psychosis, I'm sure that there are still forms of therapy that can help with it, but it's going to be, how to cope with the impact that your symptoms have on your life, because I don't know that it can really control the symptoms. But anyway, I'm really interested in conversations like these, and I know that sometimes folks aren't as interested, but I hope that it's appreciated that, you know, there's value in talking to people who have been in therapy, I think. You know? I did a lot of that already. I'm fullest of the minds now. Yeah, true, Darth. I'm glad I could come here and talk about it. Yeah, I'm glad that you have a space to come and talk about it. And like, I don't think that there should be a big stigma against BPD if you do have it, you know? I don't think people with borderline are inherently abusive. I think it's really harmful that there's so much rhetoric surrounding people with borderline that's like, you shouldn't even be friends with these people, much less date them. Like, it's not possible to be in a relationship with them, you know? It's a behavioral disorder, effectively. I know that it's called borderline personality disorder. It's not a good name. The way that we name things in mental health diagnosis is stupid. But, so BPD phobia is ableism, true, yeah. But BPD is a behavioral disorder. Here's my hot take, okay? Here's my hot take about BPD. I was talking about this in the comments recently. Oh my god, I'm gonna drink a little bit of water. I'm like already winded. What's up, Andes? Welcome in. Here's my hot take about borderline personality disorder. I think that this is just the way that autistic people manifest PTSD. Like, stuff like major depressive disorder is sometimes attributed to your brain simply does not make the chemicals that it's supposed to, or whatever, or it doesn't make enough of them, whatever. You know, there's hypothesized physical mechanisms going on. But borderline personality disorder is defined by like a lot of behaviors. If you look at the 9 criteria, several of them are things that you do, like making intense, like doing intense behaviors to prevent someone from leaving you. 12 criteria. There's the 9. I thought there were 9. But I don't know. Maybe they've updated the diagnostic criteria. But when I was diagnosed, it was like there were 9 criteria and you needed to have 5 of them in order to qualify as having borderline. But yeah. So, but regardless, there's like a certain number of criteria, and a number of them for BPD are behavioral. It's like, yeah, you're doing suicidal behavior, or you are acting erratically, or you are having outbursts of anger, right? So if you go through treatment for BPD, like if you go through the whole thing and you manage to eliminate some of those behavioral things, and like some of the other stuff too is like deep feelings of hollowness or emptiness, and like if you're doing mindfulness type therapy, then that can really help that. But yeah, because of the fact that BPD is a behavioral disorder, you can technically not have it anymore. Like you might not have all of the criteria anymore after being in treatment for a period of time. So yeah, I that's part of why I think it's bad to essentialize people with BPD, especially as being like, oh, you can never be in a relationship with these people, or these people are always abusive. Like, I certainly do think that people with any kind of disorder can be shitty people, obviously, but like, I don't think it's a special thing for people with borderline. I hadn't considered that I might have borderline until literally this week when I read the diagnostic criteria. I helped my sister come to terms with the fact that she might have BPD and seek a diagnosis. Nice. Yeah. It's one of those things that like once you start to the treatment for it, I personally think that if you just work really hard at it, it's just gonna go up and up and up and up. You know, you're just gonna get better and better. I'm not a fan of writing people off because of who they are. I prefer to write people off when they make shitty tweets. Like, no, you go to the gulag now. You don't deserve to be on regular public ground anymore. Oh man, I haven't been on Twitter as much. It's just the current trans discourse on Twitter fucking blows. Silent, hello. Thank you for hanging out. What is the specific trans discourse on Twitter right now? Twitter has been a very interesting place to be the last week or so. Did you see Vosh making the DreamWorks face? No, I did not. I'm proud to say I've never had a Twitter. Listen, I salute your restraint. I currently have a headache thanks to Twitter. No, get off of there. Get out of there. One of the best things I did on Twitter was change my notifications to only show me people who I'm following if they get in my mentions, which it still missed something. Like Gayfesh responded to a tweet of mine recently, and I didn't get notified of it. I don't only found out because I was reading through other replies. Like, okay, cool. Why? I don't bother with Twitter. I'm too busy being slutty on Blue Sky. I haven't quite figured out what the vibes are supposed to be on Blue Sky. My posts don't get very much engagement over there. Oh, Amy, are you involved in the situation? The situation that's happening on Twitter? There's some discourse right now about a big, wealthy, cis lesbian writer saying some shit, and now trans women are accusing trans men of being trans misogynistic for insisting that trans masc people are victims of misogyny. Why do people want to police how trans men talk about their experiences so much? Why? The one is in our community. Okay. I've been observing myself for a little bit. Darth Gently, thank you so much for the 666. Ooh. Yeah, here's your next 666 for this month. Hearts. Thank you. I really appreciate you. We are all hailing Satan together, I assure you. Yes. Oh, where'd my chat go? I need it back. Come back. Okay, there it is. Oh my gosh, hella. Oh, thank you. For the $99.99, in the YouTube chat. Thank you so much. Buy seeds. I really appreciate you. Goodness gracious. I don't even know what to do with you folks sometimes. I'm not going to try to do the math. Wait, hold on. 99.99, so it would be 105.65. Yeah. Look at that. I can do math in my head sometimes. Thank you. Did someone else just donate? Baphomet. God damn it. Thank you for your tier 2 sub. They said, oh yeah, it bears mentioning that I no longer have to worry about rent, so I can afford this at least. Listen, thank you. You're all ridiculous. I can't believe you, and also thank you very much. That's quite sweet. Enjoy your dicks and various other emojis that other people don't have access to. Thank you again. All three of you. Goodness. My arms are not as impressive as they were because it turns out that you actually can't really do a cut and build muscle at the same time. That's what it turns out. So I have to... I'm going to change some stuff about when I start exercising again. I'm going to switch to doing cardio when I... Oh yeah, I already had access to dicks. That's true. As a mod, you already had access to dicks. That's true. But yeah, when I go back to the gym, I think I'm gonna just do cardio several days a week instead of working out, because I'm trying to, like, lose some of my fat that I have stored. I don't really want to lose weight because I also want to weigh enough to have muscles. Silent. God damn it. Thank you. 5 gifted tier 1 subs. Hopefully all of you appreciate those. Also, happy Xmas New Year. True. Is it still Impmas? Is Mama still doing Impmas? I still have all of my Christmas decorations up, but obviously I've kept the lights off since after Christmas this year. Yeah, thank you. Oh my gosh. I gymmed early in the AM today. Big mistake. So many gym bros being loud and annoying. I'm gonna go back to going in the afternoon. Yeah, I go in the morning and there aren't that many people. Infamous lasts until the last gift is opened, and my girlfriends keep forgetting to mail me mine. So yes, it's still Infamous. Love that, love that. I haven't been going to DM streams lately either. I feel bad about it. I had not been to a Demon Mama stream in a long time, and then I did go to one recently, and it was such a super chill time. I enjoyed it very much. It was a good time. I go to the university gym. Yeah. There are plenty of college-age people in my area who go to the gym that I go to. But, yeah. I think I'm just going right when they're in class. You should not feel bad about not going to a stream, though. Oh, yeah. No, I don't, like, feel bad. It's just that I think as someone who wants to be part of a community and, like, also finds it really difficult to... I am not good at maintaining connections with people over direct message because I kind of hate doing direct messages. I've managed to make more space for it in my life than I have previously, but it's, like, hard for me to do, right? So if I want to maintain relationships with other creators, then one of the ways that I can do that without putting too much pressure on myself or on that person to respond to me and have a relationship, I can just show up to streams. And that's a way of showing my support to them. I always hit like, you know, I'm interacting, and that's my way of being like, hey, I'm friendly and I'm showing support. So, it's just my way of trying to cope with, like, not being as capable as I wish I were when it comes to being social. What's up, Natalie? Hello. You have to be a certain weight to gain muscle. No, sorry, Solace. What I was trying to say is, like, so I weigh about 150 right now, which is the most I've ever weighed, really. And I want to remain that same weight, but I want to lose some fat and then kind of gain back some muscle. I was, in December, I was working out and I was restricting my calories in the hopes that I could burn fat and build muscle at the same time. And I just didn't really see any results in my trying to work out and build muscle at the same time. So I think that I just need to focus, if I'm trying to lose weight, then I probably should do something that's more calorie burning focused and just kind of work on my cardio for like maybe the entirety of February. Yeah, Silent, absolutely. I hate working out in the mornings, but I need it for the mood boost. Honestly, I am like, I think that part of my problem the past couple of weeks is that I haven't been going to the gym in the morning. I was going like 4 times a week. I was watching Demon Mama's loneliness video and you were in the chat in that vid. I was. Yeah, that was the stream that I hung out in. And I feel like I contributed meaningfully to the discussions that we had. Yeah, cardio is the thing that I need to be doing. I'm starting some cardio at home if I can. Like, you can technically do bicycles lying down on the floor. And, like, technically that can be enough exercise to be cardio. But also, it's an ab workout. So I did it for, like, 5 solid minutes yesterday. And that was a difficult amount of time to be doing a bicycles for. So I think I'm just like looking forward to getting to go back to the gym in February so that I can do the elliptical, basically. And I'm just going to do like, instead of approximately 1 hour, 15 minutes of lifting weights, which is what I was doing throughout all of December, I'm just going to go ahead and switch to about an hour or an hour 15 of cardio. Yeah. So it's good to find ways to stay mobile during the winter. Also, like, if you are a person who's stressed, and I think a lot of us are stressed, there's something about January that is just like really, really difficult. I would say definitely at least you should do some stretching and try to like really be with that experience. Like, don't stretch while you're watching a YouTube video. You know, you can take 5 minutes not watching a YouTube video, just sit on the floor, do some easy, gentle stretches. Maybe 5 minutes turns into 10 minutes because it feels good, you know? Like, I recommend, you know, not completely checking out for the winter as much as it sucks. I have so much stress, I'm actually dizzy half the time. Yeah, I've been recognizing that, you know, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome it does cause problems with adrenaline in your body because adrenaline is the chemical that your body uses to increase your heart rate. So if you stand up and your blood pressure drops because your veins aren't working correctly, then your heart has to increase, which means your body has to shoot out adrenaline. And it's like, oh, that's part of why I'm so stressed all the time, is because I have a baseline adrenaline problem. And then also I think that the more stressed I am about stuff that is stressful, then that triggers adrenaline and that causes my heart rate to increase inappropriately. And so sometimes I'll just be sitting here at my desk and my heart rate will do the thing that it does where it just feels like my heart's doing flip-flops, like backflips, and then it chills out like 10 minutes later. I don't know. It's really frustrating. Yeah, POTS sucks. You don't want to catch COVID because it'll potentially give you POTS. It's suspected that POTS is also autoimmune, so that could be another reason why stress seems to make my symptoms worse. But anyway, I still want sometime, I would like to do a video where I basically am just talking about the symptoms of POTS and how to deal with it, because frankly, I think that there's going to be a lot of people with POTS who are going to go through the same thing that I went through, where they're like, I think I might be dying. Because it feels different to a panic attack, like having your POTS go crazy. It like hurts a lot. And it's very scary. So I kind of, and it's also it's like underdiagnosed, I believe, as well. So it's one of those things that, particularly if you're female or queer or trans, it's possible that your doctors will not treat it. They'll just tell you you have anxiety. So if I can help people by making them more aware of what it is and also how they can self-manage or potentially advocate for themselves if they needed to with the doctor, I think that that would be quite beneficial. As someone with hypochondria, I do not envy you because I would think I'm having a heart attack constantly. Well, that's the thing is like, I don't really think I'm a hypochondriac. It's just that it feels like I'm having heart pain regularly, and I am. Like, that's, like if I think I'm having pain, then that is what pain is. It's like a thing that happens in your brain. But yeah, and it is scary. And it does make you feel like a hypochondriac. um, and it can be hard to disconnect that sense of panic when you have a fucking heart pain problem. Or if your heartbeat like suddenly increases in a way that makes you like hyper aware of the sensation of your heart in your chest. Yeah, it's the kind of thing that looks like hypochondria because you are supposed to be concerned and aware about potential heart attacks. Oh my god, I got tested for POTS because when I transition from sitting to standing, I feel like my head is going to explode and I can barely keep myself from fainting. They simply said I don't have it. The test they administered was them asking me to stand up from the bed and then asking how I felt. One single time. And I happened to not feel terrible. Yeah, you mean when you're at the doctor in a situation where your blood pressure is naturally going to be a little bit higher? It didn't trigger your thing. The thing that you're supposed to do is called a tilt table test, but I've never had one. I'm just not a fucking idiot and I can read and I know what the symptoms are of POTS. I've talked to my doctor and he was basically like, it sounds like you have POTS based on your description of your symptoms. We did not do the tilt table test, but all of the advice that he gave me for how to manage POTS makes it better. So it kind of seems like that's the problem. Like, but it's also like, yeah, it's one of those things that because it's a symptoms based thing, you can essentially know that you have it even without doing the tilt table test. But the tilt table test is how a doctor would, beyond the shadow of a doubt, confirm that that's what you have. And yeah, hearts are important to investigate. Yeah, for sure. If your heart rate is over like 250, that's crazy. I know how hard it can be when your heart does funny stuff. Mine misses beats or beats out of time for a few seconds every now and then. Mine was caused from being struck by lightning when I was 14. Yeah, I could see you potentially having a little tiny arrhythmia after that. Maybe. I just think any random body pain is me dying or some extreme disease. Yeah, I have a lot of random pain as like separate from my heart also, and it's been a process for the last few years to try to not feel panicky about all of them. Because sometimes it's like, oh, I have a really weird pain. It feels like in my ribs over here. Like, okay, well, that's not near my heart. Is there something wrong with my lungs? Like, or is it just another, um, like muscle pain, like an intercostal muscle pain? It's so frustrating being chronically ill, you guys. Like, I hope that when something when something does actually dramatically happen to my health, because, if I live long enough, I will have a heart attack or something. I hope that when something actually seriously does happen to me, that I'm able to recognize it and that it's not just another thing that I can brush off as one of my chronic illness symptoms. Like, that's the thing that's like, I think scariest about a chronic illness is that worry that I am so used to being in pain and stuff all the time that, yeah, if something serious were to occur, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between that and my normal chronic illness. And then I would like die or have serious complications or something because I'm so used to downplaying my own symptoms, Like, that's something that I don't want to die because I have gotten so used to ignoring my body's signals because it's like false alarms constantly. I made it to 100. Don't we get a flex for that? I mean, I will, but I was just saying that like I haven't been at the gym, so I don't know how much of a benefit it's gonna be. Oh, my phone. No, my phone's in my pocket. I don't remember if I mentioned it here, but my blood pressure also runs so low that doctors struggle to get a manual read on it. Yeah, that's definitely something that I could see happening with POTS. Mine usually reads as being fine when I'm at the doctor. Okay. Excuse me. Yeah, ignoring pain is how I ended up losing my entire gallbladder rather than just getting a stone or two taken out. I could not afford to go to a doctor about it. As someone who has had a heart attack, the pain is like nothing I've ever felt before. Yeah, that's. I'm hoping that if I ever do have a heart attack or something, it will be devastatingly painful and obvious. But it's not uncommon for people who are assigned female at birth to have heart attacks that don't present in what we consider to be the typical fashion. So anyway, you all wanted a show. You all requested a show. Why is my hat off center? God. So yeah, like I said, I haven't been at the gym since like Christmas, just about. Which I guess it's not too bad for having, like I was saying, I was not eating enough during my last bulk. So I felt like I wasn't gaining enough muscle. Shoulder traps. Rah, rah, rah. Yeah, no, I hit the sub goal. We did it. Ah, thank you for your patience. Wow. I've seen that some buff women on Twitter who post their pictures, they will censor the armpit because the armpit is like some people are into it, I guess. Maybe I'm making a mistake. I'm so defensive about my feet. I'm like, I'm not going to post feet for free. You think you messing with me? I'm not going to post feet for free. And then but I'm just posting the pits for free. Row. Okay, hold on. Where are you? Eh. There we go. Gotta put it away. Gotta put it away. It's too chilly to be wearing my tank top. Oh no, what are the spoilers about? That's why I said for free. I am a pit fiend, sadly. Pit fiend. Oh no. um. Oh, hey, Kitty, that's great news. It only took 15 minutes this morning for my endocrinologist to be like, "Yup, I'm referring you to urology for bottom surgery. Sorry, it's going to take a few months. You should try calling every week to see if they have an appointment open up." I was expecting it to take the whole scheduled hour. Hey, listen, I'm glad that you are going to have some referral situations starting soon. That's very exciting. The snow and cold tends to give us humans seasonal depression because the lack of high-level UV around us goes down and our brains don't like it. Seasonal depression is hard on most folks. Yeah, I don't... I guess it's kind of a seasonal depression thing. I was going for regular walks in like November, early December, which was pretty nice. But yeah, I'm like very aggressively not going outside right now. It's too cold. I did go to the store today. So I decided I'll put on my layers. It was like in the 20s instead of being in the zeros. So I thought it would be all right. How do you feel about rowing machines for exercise? I use a rowing machine when I can. Like, I do you mean the cable row? I've never used the cable row, but I've used the one with always depression. I like the cool seasons more than the hot ones. I am immune, kind of. I am wearing these really incredibly comfortable fleece leggings that I got this winter. And I have optional rabbit skins if I need to be especially warm, but usually I just wear my jeans, um, or like sweatpants. Honestly, like I don't know. I don't have like one consistent outfit that I wear, but I have some thermal options that are quite nice. I got my hats. I used a rowing machine for the first time a few months ago. It was nice. It's like really easy exercise. Um, yeah, it wasn't too hard. I like it. So here's the thing. Um, if you're doing a rowing machine, the thing to focus on, I read about it, and the thing to focus on. So if you're, let's say you're doing the row like this, you're pulling both of them at the same time. The thing that you should focus on during the pull is like the idea that you're pulling your elbows back. Because I think a lot of people focus it on the shoulder. Um, and like, so a lot of people are missing out on the fact that the row is a back exercise. So when you're pulling back, if you focus in this part of the motion on pulling your elbows back, then you'll be really engaging this muscle right here, which is the one that you're trying to train. Also, not rotating your wrists. Yeah, well, the rowing machine that I used, like, your hands they don't rotate. But if you're doing a cable row, then yeah, you would want to make sure that you're using an attachment that controls your wrist movement. Oh, kayaking did amazing things to my core muscles. Oh, I bet. You're like having to hold yourself steady and like keep everything going. Mackenzie, thank you so much for your $5 dono. This is for making my tea taste better in the Lux mug all week and for entertaining me while I work in this horrendous weather. Snowflake, peace sign, black heart, trans flag. Nice. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you're enjoying your new mug. I keep meaning to buy myself one, and I just, at this point, haven't gotten around to it. But, yeah. I appreciate you all being so super generous today. I did just go grocery shopping, so it literally like has an immediate positive impact and helps me cover all those things that I need to get. Like I had to get a bunch of extra stuff this week too. Had to get like more aluminum foil and storage like sandwich bags and god. Like a bunch of stuff ran out all at the same time. It happens occasionally, but we're making it work. Literally during the summer months, the only viable option is to get naked and stand in front of AC. Yeah, like what are you gonna do if you're too hot? I've started to appreciate the winter more. I used to be I hated winter kind of person. Used to be majorly like a winter hater. But now I do appreciate that you literally just have to have good gear. You just have to have like good wool socks. It's not a big deal. Now listen, if it's like 0 degrees, no. Girl, no. That's unacceptable, I will say. There's a reason why I don't plan on staying in the Midwest is like the winters are too much winter and the summers are too much summer. As someone who is too hot, I manage. True. It is negative 23 at night here. Oh my god, Hella. Fuck that. Oh my god, no. When you're kayaking, you're supposed to paddle by pulling back with core braced against your legs, not by flapping your arms around. I imagine rowing is very similar. Yeah, well, I mean, you are literally rowing. If you're paddling a kayak, you're literally rowing. So, they named the exercise after what you're doing. So it's like it's core because you're stabilizing yourself as you're going through the water. Like you're attempting as best you can to keep yourself upright, and then you are reaching forward and pulling. And then you might switch sides and reach back and pull again. And it's that same thing where it's like you're grabbing forward and pulling back. And it's like, yeah, it's a big time. What is this called? Is this latissimus dorsi? It's the one that makes you look really broad right here. Anyway. I loved living in Colorado Springs because it snowed for 3/4 of the year. Or 2/3 of the year, depends on the year. Ooh, our friends came back from Hawaii and they brought me jackfruit seeds and one of them had already germinated. Ooh. What do you do with jackfruit? Like, I don't know how you cook with it. By the way, we're probably going to talk about the political segment before too long. I only really have one major political thing planned for today. And then for the rest of it, you know, I kind of just want to chill and foster good vibes and community space because, yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, it's winter. I'm starting to think ahead too to my next little pagan holiday thing because, you know, I've got everything set up for Yule or the solstice. And the next holiday is February 2nd, roughly February 2nd. It's called Imbolc. And I'm starting to think, okay, well, we're more than halfway between Yule and Imbolc now, so I should probably start changing up my decor. Probably should start taking down some of the Christmassy stuff. Start switching out to some other things. So I just don't have a lot of stuff ready to go. And Imbolc is kind of a weird one that doesn't have a lot of super clear iconography except for like sheep. So I guess I could make a little tiny sheep or something. I could crochet a little sheep and put it over here. I don't know. We're figuring things out. But I want to bring seasonality to the rest of the year. I don't want to just be, okay, so the only time of year I can really meaningfully decorate is the last fiscal quarter. Like, no, I want to be able to spend other parts of the year appreciating seasonality and holidays and things like this. So basically, Imbolc is great because it celebrates basically the first inkling of spring, essentially. Some people actually change when they honor Imbolc, and they do it specifically, like, instead of holding to the date of February 2nd, they just kind of do it when spring is actually meaningfully starting. So, like, for example, if it's February 2nd and we're still doing this whole 6 degrees bullshit, then some practitioners might wait. But it's fun to celebrate, yeah. Maybe it should be like, maybe it'll be my Imbolc observation that I'll plant whatever seeds I plan on doing indoors first. Okay, you can use 100% of jackfruit, except the rind. It's amazing fake vegan pulled pork in the meat. The seeds can be ground up. It is awesome. The fruit is delicious too. Lots of parts. Ooh. Yeah, I don't think I've ever tried jackfruit as a chicken substitute or a pulled pork. I think I've heard of it being used as a pulled pork substitute and that it's pretty good, but do Halloween. If it's not Christmas, it's always Halloween. I don't want it to always be Halloween, okay? I do like that idea. I like the idea of there always being like a little bit of a Halloween-y thing. Like, look, there's still bones over here. Did you forget? I have tiny little like rodent bones over here. Death is always present. Please let it have an early spring. I want the winter to be as long and as cold as it needs to be to make sure that we don't have like a really effed up amount of bugs in the spring and summer, because I hate mosquitoes and ticks so much. Guys, is there any way to have a biodiverse yard that doesn't also allow ticks to breed? Because people keep saying, oh, you should leave the leaf litter in your yard. And I'm like, do you, like, says the fucking tick? Like, pulls off the mask, it's ticks. Like, no, why? I mean, yeah, I understand it conceptually for bees and butterflies, but is there a way to keep insect breeding grounds in your yard or in your permaculture garden or whatever without inadvertently allowing ticks and other bugs like that to proliferate? I don't know. Jackfruit is so weird, but the barbecue is what seals it as a go-to pulled pork substitute. I do like tofu. Tofu's pretty good. Anytime I get a chance to have tofu at a Chinese place, I'll often choose that over other similar options. But yeah, never had jackfruit before. Let's see, have I done anything fun cooking-wise recently? I've just been trying different stuff and like trying to figure out what's going to be tasty and work for everybody. It's like, yeah, right this second cooking is not very fun for me. It's a little bit more of like a thing that I'm having a hard time getting perfect. I don't really like meat, so I do tofu. Yeah. It tastes good, but conceptually it grosses me out to eat it, and after it I feel horribly sick. Sure. I could definitely see if you have like a dietary reaction to it, then it makes sense that you would start to feel grossed out by it. I am still a meat eater. You know, we don't pretend. I do want to have like a meat reduction concept sometimes. You know, like I want to have occasional vegetarian days where I don't eat meat the entire day, but I don't need that to happen like regularly. I mean, like I don't need it to be 3 days out of the week that I'm choosing not to eat meat, but it's good to, I just want to have like a variety of foods. So if you're eating meat all the time, okay, you've got like pork, chicken, and beef, like for the most part. We don't really eat fish here. I did get some shrimp at the store. I decided to go ahead and see if I could cook some shrimp and have that be nice. It just as, you know, again, as of keeping variety going. But yeah, like occasionally in the mix of, you know, you're rotating between like chicken and pork and beef and occasional seafood or like whatever else you do, then like, yeah, occasionally there's going to be some vegetarian meals in there. Mm. Chicken is the most tolerable meat, but I still feel weird about it. My fursona is an herbivore, and I am my fursona, so I should be an herbivore too. Bun bun! Not every meal actually needs a meat. Yeah, so I think for a lot of people, you don't need as much protein. Like, it depends on your activity level, you know? Like, my activity level can fluctuate because of, like, weather. It's like, you know, my job is being around home, so it's like, you know, I might be cleaning and, like, walking around and, like, scrubbing stuff sometimes, but that's not the same as, like, really seriously exerting myself, so. Oh my god, thank you, Hella, for answering this question. There are certain plants that attract certain bugs, and you can plant them in a wild pattern so that the bugs that like to eat ticks and other pests are going to be eaten by those good bugs. There's a whole community that knows. Okay, I kind of thought that that might be one of the things that you do in gardening. Like you might plant, I might plant this next to this because, like, or say, like, I might plant this next to that because that gets a beetle that likes to eat it, but this attracts a bug that eats the beetle that wants to eat that. So you can kind of balance things out that way. Good to know. Good to know. Because, yeah, that's one thing I don't want is ticks in my yard. Later, Corpse Candy. Have a good night. Clean your yard and make sure you move the garden so the soil is given a break between growing seasons. Make sure you move the garden so the soil is given a break between growing seasons. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Like, move the garden? Just talking about rotation? I've heard about crop rotation. I need to order some nematodes for my property to kill off my flea problem. They replace the fleas in the food chain. Ooh. There's a lot of Mexican, like authentic Mexican and Asian dishes that are vegan. More that are vegan than aren't. There's lots of exceptions like barbacoa and carne asada and stuff, but that pales in comparison to Anglosphere food, which is like 90% meat. Yeah, and I'm assuming that part of the popularity of things like carne asada and barbacoa in the US is because it's like, ooh, meat, but different. You know, meat, but prepared slightly differently. So, yeah. I'm not like trying to become vegetarian or vegan. I just like to try different things. And it's important to me to get a variety of different foods, you know? I kind of like the idea of making sure you get a lot of different color foods in your diet. Like you will inevitably end up with a very well-rounded nutritional report effectively if you were to just focus on variety. Most Mexican food is vegetarian, I would say, because 90%. Oh, wait, hold on. 90% of authentic Mexican beans have lard in them. So maybe if you're using Mexican beans, they would not be vegetarian. We add meat and dairy to everything. Yeah. Like for someone like my partner who is like doing a trade job, it kind of makes sense that you would need more protein, and like the easiest way for your body to get protein is by, consuming whole acid chains rather than trying to put them together. But yeah, I think beans are a really great way to fill out meals. I like dairy even though it makes my tummy hurt. If you have bad lungs, you should grow tiger's milk mushrooms. Interesting. Also try to water early in the morning or late at night because the sun can hurt the plants. Um, yeah, you should water in the morning, I think, because if you water at night, like the plants are going to sleep and they're not going to uptake as much water. So you're just going to end up sitting them in like wet roots all night. Delicious. I like having little food conversations. I managed to eat enough um cereal earlier that I'm not expecting to be super hungry before the end of the show, but I don't know. It's like, how long is the cereal gonna last in there? Fish is really healthy for you. I don't really like. Oh, dude. So recently we decided to try anchovy pizza. We got just like a one topping pizza. It just had anchovy on it, and so it was just like a cheese pizza, and then every piece of pizza had one anchovy on it, and it was incredible. It was so good. Like, it was beyond delicious. It was super rich. So you would need to like you might like take a bite of the anchovy part and like eat that, and then like maybe switch to the side and get a cheese only bite, and keep your working your way down. But oh man, it was delicious. Highly recommend trying it if you've never tried it. Obviously, it's very salty, it's very umami. Oh my god, it was so good. Oh man. I have not tried sardines though, I don't think. Meat was not a big part of the average European diet back before the 1700s. Listen, meat in your diet, like meat in your diet every single day, was not even possible until the industrialization of meat production. Because think about it, like you have a limited number of animals, and a lot of those animals are producing some product. Like you have cows who are producing milk. Okay, well, you don't want to kill your milk cow. Maybe you can only afford one cow. It's not like, a lot of people can afford to have several animals and then breed them and then kill them. If you did have, let's say, 6 or 7 cattle and you butcher one of them, then okay, cool. Maybe you'll have like a lot of meat to last a few months, and you're not gonna eat meat every day still. But like, yeah, you you don't kill a chicken every single day. You might even killing one chicken a week. I feel like you have to be producing a lot of chickens in order to kill one chicken per week. And like, okay, we're gonna have wings one night, we're gonna have thighs the next night, and we're gonna have breast the next night, and that's the end of that chicken. Like, it makes sense that you would end up growing a lot of your food and occasionally butchering an animal and occasionally successfully hunting down like a deer, for example, or trapping some rabbits or something like that. But yeah, I don't think that most people were eating meat every day until industrialization of agriculture. My partner did have a really interesting suggestion for me. We were talking about food and like the fact that it's really expensive and that sometimes there isn't even like there wasn't even any chicken breast at the store when I went last week. There was some this week, but still like pretty expensive and not very much of it. But yeah, like he suggested that I could buy a whole chicken and then butcher that down. And I was like, okay, that's a really interesting idea. Like, that would certainly be a learning experience for me. Lobster used to be a poor people food. Oxtail used to be a poor people food because they were, these things were like gross or they were like, oh, that's scraps. We don't care about it. Because you have to slow cook oxtail in order to really get any flavor or meat out of it. Um, yeah. When is filet mignon gonna stop being considered rich people food? I want to be able to afford the beef. Shrimps is bugs. I know. I got some shrimps at the store. I've never cooked shrimp, but we're certainly gonna try it out. People of Asian and African descent are largely lactose intolerant because they never had it until the North Europeans came. Yeah, cattle and drinking the milk of it is like a very particular thing that we did. It's a very white people thing to do. I see this fisherman guy who checks out the lobsters, gives them notches and snacks before throwing them back in. That sounds like a really fun job. I'm thinking about starting an annual buy a baby cow, then by year 2 starting to slaughter the 2-year-old that I fatted up, sell half the meat to pay for the next calf, and store up the rest of the meat. Half of it frozen and half of it pemmican style. I feel like if I want to keep eating meat, I have to make my own. Yeah, I mean, I think that's not a bad way to do it. I don't know how much meat you get off of a cow. I'm sure it's a lot because they're very heavy. They're very big and quite heavy. But yeah, and yeah, pemmican is really good, interesting stuff. So it's about also having the storage space. A lot goes into raising a cow, true. That's not a bad idea, though. Like, okay, I'm gonna sell part of this meat, and I should have enough money to buy another calf. Spend another 2 years raising it up. Plenty on half for a family of 5, and the pemmican can be stewed. Stew is so good. I made stew recently. It was like a little bottom round steak stew. It was delicious. Doesn't pemmican taste like not a whole lot? I understand pemmican to be the kind of thing that you can make in a number of different ways. Sort of depends. Damn, Sapphic. Yeah, I'm seeing more and more people talking about, these creators in our community and their behavior. I am not ready to like talk about it on the YouTube platform in any detail, but I've certainly seen, what people have been saying on Twitter about it, and I agree that a lot of the behavior is totally unacceptable, and I am sorry that you almost got caught up in it. Or I guess you kind of did get caught up in it a little bit, but it could have, man. I'm hoping that you realized what was going on and got out of there. Feeling so disillusioned with leftist streamers. I know, it's like 2 in a row. Like, well, technically 3, whatever, I guess. But like, there's Sophie. Yeah, what did Keffels do? Did Keffels... I wasn't paying any attention to this most recent round of bullshit with Keffels. I know that there was some drama with Keffels and Xander Hall, but... And President Sunday. There was something that President Sunday did that I was like, this is pretty dumb. Oh yeah, he was like insistent that Shoe on Head was not pedo jacketing people. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. It was like specifically because Xander Hall was part of it, I think is part of why President Sunday was all weird about it. But how about that instead of intra-community bullshit, we clown on Noah Schnapp for that fake ass apology? What is this? I've never heard about this. The most recent thing with Keffels was a public rape allegation that she got a legal threat for. Oh, so did she falsely accuse someone of sexual assault? And then she got like a threat regarding like defamation or something along those lines? Yeah. Guys, there's like a reason. Oh, we don't know if it's a false allegation, but she did get a legal threat about it. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, it's so hard to build community. I was literally just talking to my therapist about this morning because I was talking to her about some of these things that are happening in the community and like yeah, it's so frustrating being like looking at the world and realizing that things are about to get like a lot weirder real fast. It's so disappointing that I don't know. It is the problem that you're online and that naturally just facilitates this bitchiness. Um, if we were in spaces together in person, would we actually be able to have more meaningful connections that don't devolve into bullshit? But like folks in the community who have done harm, like those are the type of folks. There are going to be more of those. There are going to be folks who like try to worm their way in to established communities, whatever various communes type things that are going to inevitably happen, or like small scale communities as climate change shifts people around. Like, there are going to be folks who try to infiltrate those groups, center themselves as safe people, and then take advantage. So, I just don't know how you deal with that. Like how do we address these situations? Even for things like when people are being actively exposed as being abusive within the online community, it's like, what do we do about this meaningfully? What does accountability look like? Keffel's got a cease and desist for it, and it looks really bad if it won't hold up in a court of law. And I also really don't like Brianna Wu and Shuan Head. Yeah. I spotted the red flags relatively early, but it was still traumatizing. Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that. It's, yeah, I'm not pleased. Everything that I've learned, I'm not pleased. And yeah, I hope that things change significantly. Accountability is when you make an apology and everybody clowns on it and moves on. That's exactly what it is. So yeah, it's like I really do. I wish that I were more knowledgeable, I guess. Maybe I do need to genuinely do some research. I've considered it before and I've talked about it a little bit on stream. I wonder if I should genuinely do research on small scale social dynamics. Like what happens in small scale social dynamic situations. And then, but the thing is that I don't know if any of that research is going to include what if some of those people have PTSD, And literally, basically everybody has PTSD now, by the way. We've all been dealing with this pandemic situation, um, like to some degree, or like the climate change situation is going to create more PTSD. Like the more you deal with death, the more opportunities you have to end up with PTSD from like not being able to process what's happening. And, everybody denying the existence of the pandemic that people like is genuinely gradually making people sicker and sicker. Yeah, you're not processing that trauma. You're gonna end up very upset. And yeah, I don't know how, if there's enough research into how to deal with people who are that vulnerable, people who are gonna reflexively not trust you. Could look at history specifically for how small communities were affected by the various plagues. Yeah, I suppose. But like, yeah, you have to have your values aligned in so many ways. in order to establish close-knit communities. I think that's why, a lot of these small-scale systems probably work best for people who grew up near each other. Like, they start working best after the first couple generations, where people don't remember that they all came from somewhere else at some point, Like, once you have a group of people who have been cooperating and they all grew up together and everybody's familiar with each other, okay, like, then maybe there's fewer of the kind of crazy dynamics. Trinity, you might like Demon Mama's streams better than you like her videos themselves. Her streams are a little bit more chill. I guess that's kind of what I'm hoping to achieve is, a fairly chill stream, but then, like, oh, let's do a segment. Let's get some energy into this. Let's talk about this. And then switch back to something more relaxed and friendly. I really enjoyed when I came into Demon Mama's stream, or something about the stream announcement in her Discord maybe, she was like, come in and say hi to your friends. And I love that. Like, I love the idea that I'm facilitating a space where you all can come in and say hello to your friends in the chat, Like, the fact that you all have dialogue with each other on a regular basis in here is pretty cool. What's up, Violet? Seasonal mood disorder is shitty today. Feel down despite no real reason to feel that. Yeah, I am sorry. I was not feeling very good today either, and I decided to go ahead and make sure that I was going to come here for you guys anyway and chill and, leave some of my bad juju, my bad vibes at the door and just kind of try to relax and enjoy a nice conversation with the Hordies. Yeah, hi, friends. I grew up on a cattle farm. It's a lot. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I could drink even more water. Such a thirsty day for me today. Later, Natalie. Have fun on your meeting. Catch you later. So, like I say, I have basically only one main story tonight, and that's going to be looking over Aaron Reed's kind of live coverage of the bill in Missouri. Or, like, they're doing 9 different ones in Missouri. She actually might not even be done like, the meeting might still be ongoing. I hope it's been 3 hours. I hope it's over by now. I'm checking to see if she's still actively tweeting about this or not. Oh my god. These hearings were super long. I couldn't get Prague for a few days, and now I'm back on it. So today is a thirsty day for me too. Sag. Oh, so Sag. I'm really, like, annoyed, because the birth control that I'm on is, like, lowering my libido. So I'm like, meh, that's a bummer. There's a lot of anthropological work about group dynamics in egalitarian forager bands and how they avoid people gaining positions of power. Okay. So I'm gonna need to look in anthropology. Group dynamics in egalitarian forager bands. It's always a thirsty day for me. So sad. Okay, I think that this, oh my god, this apparently is likely to stretch until 2 in the morning. So, we might be able to, she might have, like, an article that we can read, but that's not... Oh my god, Aaron... I don't like that replies to your own tweets show up in your main timeline. I think that's one of the dumbest things that Twitter has done, easily. Okay. I think... Oh man, I don't even know. I would just like to know which bills are being brought forth. There are a few matriarchal type small communities that would be good to look at. Okay. Oh god. Yeah, so anthropological work about egalitarian forager bands. Aaron Reed, Substack. I just want to know what the various bills are that are being introduced. Okay, so she does have an article about it. I don't really need to go over the entire hearing for sure. We can just cover which bills are being brought up. Oh gosh. I think prestige politics just generally lend themselves to people who like validation more than they fear the consequences of the spotlight gaining prominence, which tends to encourage narcissistic behavior. Yeah. I'm not sure. I like I don't I like to think that people who try to get into politics have like good intentions to start with and then they get all messed up later, but it sort of depends, I guess, on what time of their life they joined politics. Oh god. We got to have good stuff to talk about sometimes, you know? I've got like, oh yeah, here is another anti-trans thing, blah 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 blah. We got to find some positive things. I like talking about cooking and exercise. Those are wonderful things. We played a video game the last time we streamed together, and I found that like a lot of fun. It was a little bug one, a little bug. You play a little spooter, a little spider spooter. They don't call it the state of misery for nothing. Missouri is just, man, fucking wild place. Web looks so fun. Yeah, it was like just challenging enough to be a tiny bit frustrating at times, but more than not, it was like, I think, a really good, fun game that was fairly well balanced and kept you progressing at a nice rate. It was good. So, it reminds me of Bug's Life with the giant fake bird. It honestly reminded me a lot of Ori and the Blind Forest because at the very it's an owl instead of whatever kind of bird it was. Yeah, there are some altruistic people who go into politics, but the potential consequences of the spotlight are so great that I think that it's more likely to be people with narcissistic tendencies. Yeah, I think that I even said this recently when we were talking about Sophie from Mars is like you do kind of need to be skeptical of who it is that is positioning themselves as the leader of the thing. Who's out there trying to position themselves as the look at me, I'm doing the thing, I'm doing the stuff. Like I think good politicians just want to do the work, right? But in the system that we have now, politicians who just do the work don't get corporate donations, and that makes it very hard for them to run for re-election. Couldn't find anything positive recently, but I did find a funny tweet. Do tell. I did think that. Ooh, okay, come on. I want Katie Montgomery. Katie. Katie Montgomery. She was retweeting some genuinely stupid stuff here. Some genuinely stupid stuff. Where is it? She tweets too much. There it is. You say that like it's a new thing that she tweets too much? Yeah, I know. Hmm. Okay, I did find it in Stream Rex. Okay. What did you put in Stream Rex? Let me see. Oh, that's funny. You were sharing a different thing from Katie Montgomery. That's pretty funny that we both thought of the same person, though. Where are the young gender-critical feminists? Katie. Like, she says, next year. Where are the female gender-critical feminists? Women don't know what's good for them. True. Here. Oh, true. Feminism has a problem. Women. It's an uncomfortable issue, but, this person says the majority of pushback faced by gender-critical feminists isn't from men, but other women. Women are the problem. That's funny. This is what I was going to talk about that is funny to me. There are two colors here. Everyone knows that. Everyone can see that. Asking people where they, quote, draw a line between the two colors doesn't stop there being two colors. Hey, chat. How many colors do you see? Like, what is this color? Is this color green or red? Would you call this particular one green or red? What about this one? Is this one green or red? Is that another one? It's one thing to reject the spectrum framework of gender or sex. It's another to literally reject spectrums. I know, yeah. It's like, I wonder how many people realized that they're colorblind today, too. They're all brown. Yeah, they're all orange. Like orangey brown. You'll never be red. You're so obviously green. Like, meanwhile, I am orange, as a matter of fact. Yeah. Gender Critical is looking at a 6 million color palette. Ah, yes, the 6 colors. Oh, God. Orange is such a good color. I didn't realize until recently that I am starting to really be big on orange. Like, frankly, my office is decorated like orange and green. Like, this is not the only orange and green combo in my office. And it's like spilling out into other areas that I've set up for myself. Yawn. It's been rough out there, y'all. It's been a rough time. I think some of the people responding to this have been like, oh, well, that's stupid because obviously, like, obviously sex is different than color. And it's like, okay, well, at least you're not the dumbest person in this conversation. I didn't used to love anything but blue, and now it's all purple. I was big on purple for a couple years, and it's kind of faded out for me. I'm not as into purple now. There's an ABDL sippy cup I've been wanting to get, and I can't decide if I want it in yellow or green. Yellow, blue, and pink are top-tier ABDL colors. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe yellow. All hail purple. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with purple. Okay, here's my thing with purple. It's really hard to get it right. I think that a lot of oranges are good. And it's like, okay, orange is good. And it's kind of hard to fuck it up. But I only like certain purples. You know, I want it to be a fairly true purple. I don't want it to be tinged to blue or to red. So it needs to be like right in the middle. I also like highly saturated mid-dark purples. Yeah, like royal purple is great, but lavender can get the fuck out. I don't need lavender. Lavender is just like I don't like a pastel purple very much. I like a rich saturated purple. But I'm a lot less picky about orange. Because, you know, Orange is, it's hard to fuck up orange. They all look pretty good. They all look pretty okay. Opinions on mauve. What is that? Like a dark purplish red, reddish purple? I don't know. I don't have strong opinions. I love to wear black and I use it in all my outfits, but I love to accent with greens, blues, and recently gray. You gotta accent with color. You go mostly monotone and then a pop of color, okay? I guess that technically means that I should have like an accessory that's a pop of color of some kind. I don't have one currently. Ooh. Yum. Nice and sleepy. The bed has been so cozy recently, you know? Like, I've been going to bed kind of early sometimes. I'll start to get a little bit sleepy right around like 10, and then I'm like, no, I don't want to go to bed. No, I don't want to go to bed. Ends up going to bed at like 11, but yeah, it's just so cozy in there. My mom's favorite color is purple, so she agrees with the purple love. Purple is so good. But, it has to be the right kind of purple. I also feel like green, oh my god, green, fuck me up any shade. I don't care. Any shade, any hue of green, whether it's a little bit pastel or whether it's highly saturated, fuck me up in green. And like, so green and orange are just like, yeah, they're always good and they complement each other nicely, and I'm just always down. I pass out to Star Trek at night. I listen to an audiobook every night. There's also a karmic justice video for Republicans learning that book bans include their books too. Yeah, I just don't care that much about, what is his name? What's his name? Hold on, wait. What is it? It's the old guy, Bill O'Reilly. Why would Bill O'Reilly book be in a fucking school anyway? Who would have ever guessed you like green? Oh, because yeah, well, the green on the website is because it's supposed to be hearkening at the agender flag, but yeah, it's a good color. I love when people do a good green eyeshadow. I would love to do makeup, but it's one of those things that's like a hobby that I don't actually know that I'm going to spend enough time to get good at it. And then it's just on your face, right? So you do the makeup and then it's on your face and you're like, okay, am I just going to wipe this off and try again because I'm bad at it? Excuse me. My dumbass thought your screen graphic dragon spikes was on your pullover. Guys, if someone wants to buy me a dragon hoodie with like spikes on the hood, I've seen them before. I would be down. I'll put one on my Amazon wish list. It's hard to find good clothes in green. Yeah, I don't have a lot of green in my wardrobe. I have like a green shirt, I think. Well, I guess we could react to that video of the Bill O'Reilly thing and then not put it as a segment on my channel because I'm not like that invested. What is this? This is the Humanist Report. Can I just... I don't think I can watch the Humanist Report straight up. Do you have any links? Okay, there's a Newsweek article. We can look at the Newsweek article. Stop loading this ad. Stop it. I don't want you to play a video. I don't want you to start playing a video while I'm in the middle of trying to read your article. Okay. Pretty sure it's Creative Commons. That works too, though. Yeah. So yeah, it's Bill O'Reilly. He had two of his books in a Florida school district. Why? What did you write a book about that children would need access to it? Why? Like, okay, sure, in the public library, whatever, like the public library, but why does the book need to be in schools? That's so strange. Um, so these are temporarily being removed from the Escambia County School District pending an investigation. The books written by Bill O'Reilly include Killing Jesus, A History, and Killing Reagan, The Violent Assault That Changed a Presidency. Okay, interesting. So it's because of the killing aspect that these can't be in the school, presumably. There's new legislation from Ron DeSantis. The legislation seeks to limit books and other materials, quote, alleged to contain pornography or obscene depictions of sexual conduct. What is in these books that would make it sexual conduct? I would have assumed that it's just the fact that they're talking about killing. I don't think that this goes into any detail. I don't think this particular article goes into any detail about what it was. What is in his book? I don't know. I love that showing two moms equals porn, but the Bible is somehow A-okay for kids according to Christians. Actually, interestingly, Violet, I believe in a school district in Florida, and I don't think we talked about this on stream, but I believe that there was a situation where that was in Utah, that the Bible was pulled from some public schools over it being inappropriate under these laws. Like, it's a hilarious backfire because the Bible has killing, it has weird sexual situations in it. My state sucks. Can't wait to leave Missouri later this year. Seattle's looking very nice right now. Yeah, Jamie. I've been fantasizing about being somewhere safe a lot lately. Apparently, the Reagan book from Bill O'Reilly actually had explicit details about Hinckley's sexual interests. Pretty funny, IMO. That's pretty funny, Warai. I appreciate you sharing that detail. I'm in Seattle, and it is not looking nice right now. The weather sucks. Well, it's probably warmer there than it is here. I think today maybe it finally was over freezing for the first time in like over a week. I'm in Vancouver and weather is shit here too. Sure. I was always under the impression that your guys' winter up in the sort of PNW area is more slushy and less intensely cold and icy, which is kind of what it's like in Kansas. Intensely cold, icy, a little bit snowy. Baby, it's cold outside. My boyfriend lives in Vancouver. He said 15 centimeters. Ooh. 15 centimeters is like... That's like 6 inches? 6, 7 inches of snow? Jamie Jam, gonna be leaving Missouri later this year. Hell yeah. It's been raining super heavy for most of the week, and there's a bunch of flooding around. And the river risky out on Oregon coast. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to investigate some of the flooding that happens in various places. Because, like, yeah, it's not just the rising sea level itself that can be a problem, no matter, if you're living near the coast. You could be, if you're too near a river that floods, or even if you just are, in an area where there isn't good drainage, or like if the soil dries up too much, then yeah, it's an issue. Been debating having hot cocoa. I need the good feels right about now. Might go boil some water right now while I watch stream. I think that's a fantastic idea. I might actually have some hot cocoa after stream today too, because I need some cozy, warm, comforting something or other. But yawn. Good grief. Goodness gracious. Old Bill. Silly old Bill. Bill O'Reilly. Sorry, guys. You know when the Ritalin starts to wear off and your brain starts doing like it's like if someone is like hitting the jukebox and it's like skipping to a different song each time. Yes, Andy's mints. As far as I know, Conyer and Vosh do live together and share the cats. Pretty sure that they do that. Um, yeah, brains are skipping today. Lots of random noises. The radio. I refer to it as the radio when my brain is just like, we're gonna play music to you now. Like, alright, great, thanks. I'm so glad that this song that I haven't listened to in 5 years is stuck in my head. Or this song that my partner listened to 2 weeks ago is stuck in my head. That shit happens to me too. Like, please stop. Oh, my brain. It likes to torture me with a bunch of irrelevant, erroneous details. ADHD is so tough. I didn't ever expect that therapy would be a thing that could help me with my ADHD, but I do think, that was a big part of the conversation that I had with her today was strategizing around how I can, you know, manage to wrangle myself. Like I have so many things that I want to do and that I have such a hard time doing. It's not even just things that I need to do. It's stuff that I want to do. And I have such a hard time getting myself to just do it. So the Ritalin helps, but it doesn't like solve all the problems. In particular, I wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. But I wake up in the morning and I don't have Ritalin in my body, you know? So one of her suggestions was actually I could keep my Ritalin by my bed, which I have done before, but she suggested that I could have a medicine alarm that's separate from my wake up alarm. So maybe maybe I would take the Ritalin like when like my first alarm goes off and then 20 minutes later I have a different alarm that goes off that's the actual wake up one or something along those lines. So I'm going to try that out and see if that helps cuz it's like so I want to be able to have routine in the morning and it's very very hard to get myself to do it. Adderall was what really helped with that for me, but no one has any at the pharmacies anymore. Yeah, I did try to fill my prescription, and I'm going to have to wait for it to be brought in. Please just give me some Vyvanse. I've heard that they're even doing a generic for Vyvanse finally. So, high fives. Can we get to 50 likes today? We're only one shy of 50. Can we get there? Questions. I've accidentally started Kesha in my brain now. Wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. Yay, the American healthcare system. Yay. It's so great. I would love to be able to live somewhere where I could, like, go to the dentist. Jesus Christ. Yes, we got to 50 likes. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you. Greatest healthcare system in the world. If you're up to it, there's the Greg Abbott thing. Oh my god, what did he do this time? Greg Abbott. I'm sure it's in the stream recommendations, so. Oh man, I don't want to talk about this. Yeah, I don't want to talk about this. I'm also, like, I am so close to getting caught up on the editing that it does feel like I am incentivized to not talk about something serious, but also, like, I do need a break, genuinely, from having to talk about serious stuff all the time, you know? And I think you all need a break occasionally, so sometimes we're gonna just play games. Or maybe we might do our one main story headline and then otherwise talk about stuff that's just kind of enjoyable, relaxing. I'm literally the worst at liking videos, and I'm sorry to everyone. How dare you, Trinity? You better like the content, or I'll find you. No, I won't. I was hesitant to mention it, even though I screamed when I heard it. Yeah, and it's like, it is a big deal, you know, and like, I can mention that you've sent me this link, but I don't want to do a segment about it. Like, my sister's name is Trinity. Was your mom a big fan of The Matrix? What am I doing? I went here. TLDR, Governor Greg Abbott from Texas says the only thing stopping Texans, or Texas state, I guess, from shooting migrants is the headache of potential murder charges. I don't need to read any more of that. Like, I don't need to know anything else about that. I'm good, thank you. Talk about the delaminations that happen on History Channel's Forged in Fire. I am friends with someone who was on that show and who won, I think, in like the second season. What's up, Michelle Winter? Welcome in. My daughter has the middle name Trinity from The Matrix. Nice. Always The Matrix. You have a particular set of skills. Getting subscribers to like videos. I hope so. Oh my gosh. I think I've realized that I talk a lot more than other streamers do. Like, I think other streamers, even if they're just sitting there talking to chat, they like, did I say what did I say, sis? What? Did I say sis? I think that what Trinity said was, fist bump your sister for me, referring to your sister whose name is Trinity. Google Feud. I remember Google Feud. Oh my god, it's been such a long time. Oh man, I'm not ready for Google Feud yet, because I am going to talk about at least one serious topic today. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. You silly beans. Yeah, I was like hanging out in Demon Mama's chat, and I noticed that she would go quiet for like 10 or 15 seconds reading chat. I don't do that. And like, that's why my voice is so sore every time. Oh. It's so strange to me that other streamers are like, yeah, I'm just gonna be quiet for a minute. I'm like, what do you mean? I just take a 5-minute break in the middle of my show so that I can come back and keep just nonstop talking constantly. I was thinking when we get to like 6 o'clock, we would actually talk about this Missouri BS. Maybe after I take my voice resting break. Hey, look at that. Maybe we could get to 69 likes today. That's my favorite thing to do. 69! Yeah, Google Feud looks like they've improved a little bit. I like the casual chat. It's relaxing. It is. It's so nice. I enjoy not feeling like a compulsion to talk about the news constantly. Like, this is still a news show, and it is still the primary thing that we do. And during our casual conversations, lots of times we do flow into parts of politics. That's part of it. But yeah, sometimes we're just going to talk about whatever's fun and interesting. I try to keep my donations for you 69, so if I can I can just keep track that way. Yeah, nice. Talk about dicks. What do you want today? What dicks do you want? Do we need to talk about phalloplasty again? I'll info dump on you if you want me to. I'm really good at it. I'm very good at it. Dicks. Dick, 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 dick. I'm not primed for a phalloplasty rant today. Oh man. It's one of those things that I haven't been thinking about as much lately. I've not been spending as much time in the surgery groups. Dicks, please. Listen. I'm trying my best, okay? I'm trying. Threw it on the floor. Come back. My dick fell out of my pants. My dick fell on the floor. Got it back. It's crochet. Haha. Haha, it's a peeper. Where's all the metoidioplasty rep? I know! People with metoidioplasty do not get enough attention. And I'm so glad that Jammy Dodger posted his... We need a metoidio infodumper. Yeah, I feel like it's a less complicated procedure, so I don't know if there's as much to talk about with metoidioplasty. It's like, yeah, you take the enlarged... Originally, it was a clitoris material, and, like, you cut the, like, ligaments or whatever that are holding it down, and then you wrap, like, the labia minora, basically, as far as I understand it, gets kind of, like, wrapped underneath. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely cool. It's just, like, there's fewer stages, it's a little bit less involved of a surgery, so there's less to explain. But, yeah. I'd like to learn how to stream, but I think the best I do once I leave is a weekly drop of my exploits, living in my basic life as a simple homesteader and bushcrafter selling eggs and veg roadside. Yeah. At that point, I don't know if streaming is so much a thing that you would want to do, or if it's more like you record individual videos. I have grown and cultivated my T-Dick, and it has grown big and strong. It is time it is freed of its chains. No more chains. No gods, no masters. Trans dicks. True. Someday we will all be free of our chains. Free the pee-pee. Free the pee-pee. If you were Darth Gently, if you crowdfund for your metoidioplasty, can you please name it Free the Pee-Pee? Because I think that would be really funny. That would be highly amusing to me. Yeah, you can do urethral lengthening for metoidioplasty as well. I'm still with Girl Dick for a while longer. A little while longer than I thought, so I'm trying to be positive about it. My dick is so free, it's not even a dick anymore. True. You're dick free. Let free dong ring. True. Fun times. Yeah, I have put off thinking about bottom surgery because I don't know if it's ever going to be in the cards, particularly if I'm focused on, like, surviving the climate crisis collapse, then for as long as we have an economy, I'm going to have, like, debts and bills, that are going to be pretty significant already. So, it's like if I buy a house, that's buying a house. You're going to have to pay a lot of shit for that. And then, like, if you want to install solar panels, okay, great. That's another, like, couple $10,000. Ooh, yawn. Gorge. Have you ever seen they were both bottoms meme? I mean, I don't know that I've seen the original. I've seen people reference it a lot. Physical therapy is expensive post-op. True. I would have to make sure my hands both work afterward, and that's probably not going to be covered by insurance. And that's assuming someone I know during one procedure of their bottom surgery, their legs were like up and in such a position for such a long time during the surgery that they had trouble walking afterwards. There was like a nerve that got pinched or cut off temporarily during the surgery that like they really were struggling to walk more than you would usually be struggling to walk after you had a surgery done in your crotchal area. I still haven't had top surgery, but I need to get more healthy and less pained in my body first. Sure, I mean, you know, if you that'll probably help you recover. I've suggested that to people before. Like, you want to make sure that you are like healthy when you get surgery, so that you have the ability to heal, and that your body has the strength and the resources that it needs to fight off a potential infection. You don't want to be like underweight and then going in and having a surgery, because then you're going to have a much harder time recovering. You're just not going to have the resources you need. Ugh. Not to say that, like, I'm not a medical professional, so I'm not going to say, like, oh, if you're underweight, you're not allowed to get surgery. But, if you're, some surgeons won't do surgery on you if you're overweight because they're concerned about the effect on your heart. So I would assume that plenty of surgeons have, like, you can't be dramatically underweight either for similar reasons. What about your own wind system for generating electricity or split with solar? I've considered a bunch of different options. I have no idea. It's going to depend, like, on, you know, what happens, what's there when you get there, kind of stuff. But some kind of renewable energy for sure would be ideal to have, you know. If you live somewhere where there are frequent, like, wildfires, or, if the temperatures are getting higher and you know that the electrical infrastructure wasn't built for it, we're going to gradually have more and more electrical infrastructure failure. We've already seen it in, like, Italy. It was so hot there, like, that hot black asphalt of the roads melted the utility lines, plastic utility lines underneath it, and then caused some fires, and, like, people didn't have water or electricity for several days. So, yeah, it's interesting, the kind of stuff that is going to start being impacted that you don't really think about that much. But yeah, if you're in a place where the temperatures are going to be rising dramatically, so there might be infrastructure failures. If you're in a place where there are wildfires and there might be infrastructure failures. If you're in a place where there's going to be flooding or tornadoes or something, like, yeah, you're going to deal with more infrastructure failure. And so you should potentially, if you have the ability. This is the thing that sucks. I was thinking about this recently. It sucks that there are so many renters in the United States, because how are renters supposed to prep for climate change? Like, I'm renting currently, and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, cool, well, it would be great if we could save more food, but, we only have so much space to store food. It would be great if we could store a ton of extra toilet paper or whatever. I don't actually care that much about toilet paper, but, like, you know what I mean? These things that you assume there might be supply chain issues with, it's, you don't have space to store anything. You can't build a permanent, like, water catchment system or anything like that if you are renting. I feel like the thing that I can do now is, like, start plants now that I know I'm going to plant somewhere permanent later, right? But, like, it's really unfortunate that, like, most people don't have the option to start hunkering down and prepare for, like, how bad the climate is going to be. Disguising it is my strategy as a renter. Landlords will paint over a roach. Not a chance they're going to implement any sustainability stuff in their properties on their own. Right. It's like, do you think that your apartment building is ever going to install solar panels on the roof? I don't think so. So great. You know what? If your electricity goes down and you're a renter, then you're screwed. What are you going to do about it? I need to get a bidet. I would love to get a bidet. I've always wondered though, how does the bidet know where your hole is? Do you just gotta carefully position yourself? I think that, yeah, they're built so that they are in a certain area of the toilet where your part usually is. Although I'm sure that, yeah, you might have to wiggle yourself and like aim. And there are also bidets that have a separate attachment for the vulva, you know? They're a pain to clean. Oh, I'm sure. Probably. Some of them have self-cleaning nozzle heads, but I'm sure every once in a while you still need to get in there and do a deep clean. No vulva emote. Yeah, there's supposed to be a pussy emote, but someone DM'd it to me and I just haven't taken the time to upload it. Because I keep forgetting. Honestly, I just keep forgetting. And I only think about it while we're on the show. Okay. Well, I'm thinking about leaving you with Papa for a minute while I go rest my voice for a second and try to get some energy. I want to stand up. I'm going to dance for a second. I want to try to get some energy back so that I can blow your fucking minds with this Missouri segment that we're going to do. Yeah, Gremlin Lord says hit the like button. Don't use a high setting first. Get a warning system bidet. A warning system bidet that just like bloop, it just shoots you a little bit, like lets you reposition. Okay, I want to show you Papa. Daddy. Oh my god. Interviewing Yemeni Timothy Chalamet. He's interviewing the sexy pirate that everybody is posting pictures of. Oh man. Oh, a warming? Oh, you meant to type a warming system bidet. I mean, I don't really think that it's a terrible thing for room temperature water to hit you. Yeah, no worries. Someone did actually make the emoji, so you don't have to make it, Baphomet. Don't worry about it whatsoever. Okay. I'm just going to take my little 5-minute break. I will let you hang out with Dad for a minute. Papa sounds comfy. Daddy sounds smuggy. Yeah, he's Hassan. I don't know. Is he either comfy or smuggy? I don't think he's either one of those things for me, personally. But yeah. Kitty. T-Dick and Gawk emotes when, TBH. On popular request, I'm sure. Okay, I'm gonna leave you with him, and I'm gonna go pee and everything. Because I consumed like 40 ounces of water since the stream started. Or something along those lines. Maybe not quite that much, but yeah. I've been drinking so much water. Water's so good for you guys. You need to drink water. You better be drinking water. Or I will end up in your walls. Do you want me in your walls? Because I'll be in your walls. You don't want that. Okay, we are going to talk about more serious politics stuff when I get back, but I'm just going to go for a minute. Okay.
I'm trying to interview the young Yemeni, in quotes, pirate, who's a TikToker and needs help. How the fuck are you going to interview him? I'm going to interview him by having someone who speaks Arabic on. Yeah, I'm talking to him right now. I'm doing journalism, chat. Calm down, okay? Here, this is the guy. Yeah, Timothy Chalamet. Rogan is definitely going to find someone. Wait, you are not posting this in the Discord. That's crazy. I was wondering why I got a notification. Thanks, Frogan. You're doing brilliant work back here. Let me just DM him again and say, I am trying to find someone to translate our conversation. What platform is best to talk on? Is that a good way to say it? He said Instagram. Okay, that works. He said, Hasna, wait a few minutes until I set up the lighting. Bro, this dude is a professional, dude. He said, wait a few minutes until I set up the lighting, dog. Let's see if this works. I'm calling now. Oh my God, it's working. All right, so So what do you want me to call you? Foda? Is that how I say your name? First
no,
of
it's
all?
Fuad.
Fuad? Oh, Fuad.
Yeah.
Okay, Fuad. What's our friend's name here? I don't know. Can you ask him?
راشد اسمك راشد صح؟
ايوه راشد.
Rashid. Okay, Rashid. How old are you? Where are you from originally in Yemen?
قد ايه عمرك ومن وين انت في اليمن؟
عمري 19 من محافظة إب.
He's 19 and he's from Ib Governorate.
Okay, nice. Okay. How is he taking everything? How is he taking in everything so far? Because he's seen the news articles.
يعني شو إحساسك هلا إنه هل شفت التغطية على الأخبار؟ هل قرأت المقالات عنك؟
والله يعني شيء طبيعي يعني ما في أي تأثير يعني أهم شيء إن إحنا نوقف مع القضية الفلسطينية هذا أهم شيء.
He says he's fine and everything is normal and the most important thing is that they stand with Palestine.
Yeah, absolutely. What is the mood in Yemen overall since America started bombing positions in Sana'a and other places?
كيف معنوياتكم في اليمن وكيف الإحساس يعني بالشعب هلا باليمن بعد ما بلشت أمريكا بالقصف؟
والله شيء طبيعي يعني ما في أي خوف ولا أي تأثير يعني أصلا متعودين على هذا من قبل 11 سنة يعني شيء طبيعي ما في أي شيء.
He's saying that it's pretty usual. They've been used to this for 11 years now and they're not scared.
That's crazy. Okay, this is a stupid question. Okay, you can preface it with that. Does he know what One Piece is?
أول شيء بقول لك إنه ممكن هذا السؤال يكون شوي أهبل بس بسألك تعرف شو هو One Piece؟ عمرك سمعت ب One Piece؟
أكيد يعني منذ الطفولة وأنا أشاهد ون بيس لوفي.
Is it Luffy?
Yeah, he said he's been watching it since he was a kid.
No way!
Yeah.
That's sick. Yes. That's fire. That's so fire. Oh my God. We think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
بقول لك حسن إنه اللي الحوثيين عم بيسووه زي اللي لوفي اللي بيسويه لوفي.
يعني والله الصدق يعني احنا يعني اهم شيء ان احنا واقفين يعني مع فلسطين يعني ما يهمنا يعني ون بيس او اي شيء يعني احنا يعني السفن احتجزوها عشان القضيه عشان فلسطين بس عشان ايقاف الحرب في فلسطين يعني ليس على اي شيء او غنائم او اي شيء.
He's saying that again like the only motivation that they have is to their solidarity with Palestine and to stop the attack on Palestine and it's not for any kind of
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm saying it's a good thing. I understand. So that's what he's saying that the reasons as to why there have been any sort of interceptions on vessels is due to the ongoing genocide in Gaza. Tell him it's not for loot. I know it's not for loot.
بقول لك هو بيعرف انه ما عم بتوقفوا السفن عشان تاخذوا منهم شيء بيعرف انه سبب انه حجز السفن عشانكم ضد الاباده الجماعيه اللي عم بتصير بفلسطين.
ايوه صح.
Yeah, he acknowledges that.
I'm at a loss. I mean, I don't know if he can answer this or not, but as far as the Ansar Allah militancy goes, like as far as the standing military goes, like I don't know if he is allowed to speak on this. I don't know if he's like actually a part of the groups at all or just like simply a TikToker. You know what I mean? I don't know how to ask that in the best way possible though.
Yeah, I feel like we can ask it pretty directly.
Okay.
راشد حسن بدي اسالك انت يعني منضم لاي من المجموعات يعني انت بتعتبر حالك من انصار الله ولا بتعتبر حالك بس يعني شخصيه على التيك توك ولا يعني بده يعرف شو الرابط بينك وبين انصار الله.
طيب يعني بقول لك يعني انا يمني يعني كيمني يعني انا واقف الى جانب فلسطين.
His answer is a Yemeni who stands with Palestine.
What led him to go to one of the ships personally? Like what were some experiences that he had that
Are you entertained?
caused him to want to go?
حسن
Have you
بده
been
يعرف
kept
شو
entertained? Any hoozle. I've drank 36 ounces since the beginning of this chat. Nice. Indiana Peeps, HB 1291 is an attack on trans people and gay marriage. Oh, in Indiana, they're coming after gay marriage now? Hold on. Indiana, HB 1291. Interesting. Okay, well, we might get to that in a minute, but we're gonna do this Missouri thing. Hey, we are returned. We're gonna do the Missouri thing. So, later, Jason. Have fun. There's literally so many homophobic and transphobic bills that you actually need a spreadsheet or a database just to keep track of them all. Yeah, like, Aaron Reed's spreadsheet keeping track of all the anti-trans bills. It's a Herculean effort. Like, man, it literally has to be her job. You have to be doing it full time to be able to keep track of all of it. Like, my job is partially to keep track of all of it, and like, I can't keep up with all of it by far. I guess my job is to communicate the fact that it's happening to you people, but calling him Timothy Chalamet is an interesting choice considering the actual Timothy Chalamet is a Zionist. Yeah. At this point, Republicans are more obsessed with queer people than immigration somehow. Like, they still care about the immigration stuff, but they definitely aren't focused on it. They're not, like, hinging their entire election strategy this year on it. Yeah, Erin Reed is the best. She's so great. Erin Reed and Alejandra Carballo and one other person whose name I forget maintained that spreadsheet. They're carrying the entirety of trans rights journalism on their backs right now. Yeah, I saw that Erin Reed was nominated for like a GLAAD reward for journalism, which is, you know, super deserved. Hey, we're at 69 likes. Nice. Look at you. Look at you all. 69 likes. A maximum, we've had 216 views so far. I honestly could not do Erin's job. Even just keeping track of a fraction of them is insanely depressing. True. Like again, I'm having to take whole streams where we just don't talk about it at all. Erin Reed deserves to live in a country that doesn't need an Erin Reed. True. If only, if only. She works so hard. And I will say the one good thing is that, you know, she is not always able to go in deep on every single thing. So in some ways it's kind of good that there's, you know, folks like me. I cover some stuff that Erin covers. Sometimes I go more in depth than she's able to in the rebuttal part of it. You know, we go in depth where sometimes she might just say, this is this way, and I'll be like, okay, well, to elaborate on that, here's the background and the context. So, excuse me. Oh my god. I truly, yeah, I can't imagine, like, spending, like, I have other things that I get depressed about besides anti-trans bills. It seems to me like Erin Reed, that's the only thing that she has that she's paying attention to. Whereas I'm like, okay, well, I have to take a break from the anti-trans news to talk about the impending climate change problems. You know, like, I shift my focus. And I've noticed that, you know, I like to talk about more mainstream politics and like the election and Biden and Trump and all this. And man, the people who are subscribed to my channel already do not care about that content. So it's really hard to start talking about more mainstream politics since the existing audience of subscribers doesn't really like that stuff as much. So they don't watch it as much and it doesn't get boosted, etc., etc. So to keep the channel going, we have to keep talking about anti-trans news. If you haven't heard already, by the way, those of you who are here, I have a second channel. It's just called Luxander 2. And that's where we post segments where we're talking about like food or foraging or climate change or like neurodivergency rants and things like this. I have a second channel where I post my sort of less political content or maybe non-political content, randomly talking about like Fae and the fact that Americans don't have fun Fae lore the way that they do in Europe. Little things like that. You should go subscribe. You can't fight the entire world. You have to choose a focus, honestly. Yeah, I mean, I think that it's like you can talk about a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Like it's possible for there to be more than one problem. Particularly for me as a communicator, I don't have to be strapped to one thing. It's that YouTube tries to keep you strapped to one thing. That's the problem, you know? Sub only emote. True. You can only use it if you're a sub. She got the worst autistic special interest. Yeah, her special interest. Doing the politics. Okay. Now that it's January and the legislative sessions are starting back up again, we get to see what new fresh horrors come for people who are trans in the United States. We've been watching this ongoing deluge of laws all across the country seeking to restrict our access to public bathrooms, trying to restrict our access to healthcare. Sometimes it's, only it's just the youths. It's just the youths we want to protect, as if the government standing in the way of, like, medical professionals is a good idea. Party of small government, y'all. But they also try to extend those even to, up to age 21 or up to age 25. They don't want people to be getting transition-related health care. They try to restrict our access to sports, despite the fact that there is not substantial evidence justifying that level of discrimination and segregation. Yeah, so it's like, wow, how many different ways can they try to mess with trans people and mess up our civil rights and try to deny that we are even a class of people who deserve protection, you know? In Missouri, they are doing 9 different bills targeting trans people, and they are all being heard on the same day. As of recording this, as of this moment, they are doing a very long hearing that started sometime in the afternoon, and it's expected to go until maybe 2 a.m. They're hearing testimony, people for and against these bills targeting trans people, and they're doing 9 different ones. Erin is reporting, she says some people are calling this a, quote, day of hate. They have 48 bills targeting trans people that have been proposed in the first 17 days of this legislative cycle, right? So they actually have 48 bills, but they're only hearing 7 of them today. And we are only 2 weeks into this legislative cycle. Like 2 weeks into the new year, 48 anti-trans bills proposed. This is somewhat anecdotal, but I do feel as though there has been an uptick in transphobia can't exist because trans people don't exist style rhetoric. It's very worrying. Yeah, it's probably one of the more scary rhetoric, like rhetorical choices that I've seen people make recently. It is, yeah, because if they claim that we are not a legitimate class of people that deserves protection, then yeah, you can do anything you want to us because there's no such thing as trans people. So, you know, we're just punishing degeneracy. Being trans isn't legitimate. It's just mental illness or degeneracy or something like that, you know? And that's kind of the rhetoric that they've always used, but the way in which they're presenting it, I do believe is getting more insidious. Let's see. So, but of the 9 that are being introduced, the 9 bills that are being spoken of in the hearing today, amongst those 48 bills, the ones that are being heard today include a bathroom ban that would be one of the harshest in the US. It would ban trans people using the bathroom even in their workplace. The bill states that trans people being allowed to use the bathroom of their gender identity would constitute, quote, a hostile work environment. Oh no. That's pretty serious. Like, if you're not familiar, like, hostile work environment is a pretty major trigger phrase for lawsuits against the company. So this is one of those very sneaky ways of making it easier to sue entities for being pro-trans. You know, like there are some of these bills, they try to make it to where a parent could sue the school if a trans kid was found to be using the bathroom with their kid. And the reason why that's a problem is, like, yeah, it will underfund the schools if they have to hemorrhage their budget toward lawsuits involved with them protecting trans kids. It's not worth it to protect trans kids if that's what the consequence is, you know? And so this creates a similar situation where if allowing a trans person to use the bathroom constitutes a hostile work environment, then a transphobic individual could sue the company for creating a hostile work environment. Like, for HR, that's like a red flag phrase. Okay. Aaron says, if this one passes, that would make Missouri one of only 3 states with an adult trans ban on the bathrooms, presumably. There's another bill that would end all legal recognition of trans people in the state. It's one of several bills being brought nationwide to end the legal recognition of trans people, mirroring laws passed in Russia in 2020 and Hungary in 2023. The bill accomplishes this by interpreting gender to only refer to, quote, biological sex, which the bill defines by a person's, quote, reproductive system. So, yeah, it's basically like what happened in Kansas. In Kansas, they made it to where, for the purposes of collecting public information, you will only be referred to by your biological sex, which means they're retroactively revoking all legal sex changes on all of our documentation. So for now, my driver's license shows what I changed it to, but in a couple years, you know, if I'm still living here when my license expires, if I go back and get a new one, it will revert back to what it was when I was born. So, you know, that's always great. Additionally, there's a bill that removes the grandfather clause for trans people who are already receiving gender-affirming care in the state. So there was previously a gender-affirming care ban on kids who were on trans-related care. Yeah, trans kids who were already on care were grandfathered in. So it's, you know, doesn't help anybody who's not already on the care, but if you are on the care, you know, at least they can't take it away. Also, just want to note here that 16-year-olds can get married in Missouri. There's another bill that's... Okay, this is the bathroom one. There's a bill that would allow anyone working in healthcare facilities to discriminate against trans people by refusing to do their job if it involves gender-affirming care. It covers nurses, pharmacists, psychologists, social workers, lab techs, and more. They would all be allowed to refuse to process tests, provide prescriptions, or fill out paperwork if it involves a trans person receiving gender-affirming care. So that's a great way to make sure that trans people literally die. You know, like if an EMT is permitted to just not treat you when they arrive on the scene of your death, and that's not a hypothetical, that's happened before. I would have to look it up really quick, but like there's been situations where an EMT shows up and there's a trans person and they not only refuse to treat, but they also ridicule, you know, misgender, mistreat the person physically on the way to the ambulance in a way that makes their injuries worse, you know? Like, trans people already do have to worry about this, and this is just making it legal. It's making these abuses of people who we're supposed to be able to trust our care to, like, these people can cause us to die. And also, you know, like, again, you know, Robert Eads, who was a trans man with ovarian cancer who ended up dying because it metastasized while he was being refused treatment by, like, 12 different doctors. So, you know, we have multiple instances of trans people being denied medical care and just dying. So, so that's quite dangerous and scary that they're trying to make that legal. There's another bill banning students specifically from using bathrooms matching their gender identity. It would ban gender-neutral bathrooms for trans students unless they had parental permission. So you can't... Wait. You can't... What? Okay, getting rid of gender-neutral bathrooms? That's stupid. Wow, that's way more stupid than usual. Another bill would be banning students from bathrooms matching their identity. It is identical in text to this other one because it's one of the many copy-paste anti-trans bills moving around the United States this year. Wow, that's pretty funny. There's a bill that would end... Yeah, we've already talked about that one. There's one that would ban trans students from bathrooms of their gender identity and would also potentially do so in workplaces in a similar manner to another one of these bills. So they have like duplicate bills. This is called shotgunning. It's called shotgunning when these politicians submit 48 bills that all basically say the same type of anti-trans stuff. Even, again, 2 bills that were literally identical in their text because they're just submitting copy pasta as legislation, basically. Basically, they're doing it to ensure that at least one of those is going to manage to pass. There's, like, surely if we throw, like, enough of these at the wall, one of them is going to stick. The transes should get their own space away from us. Also ban gender-neutral spaces. It makes perfect sense, okay? You can't possibly criticize this. There's a bill that bans the, quote, teaching of divisive concepts in schools and would ban trans students for participation in sports of their gender identity. So just attacking children and preventing children from listen, when you put in a don't say gay bill, you know the phrase that has been popularized now, no matter who you are, no matter who you love, like that, no matter who you love thing could be considered teaching about gay people. And so you're not allowed to say that even generic phrase. Like the laws are written so loosely that they can be applied that loosely. Yeah, technically, you know, usually when they say be whoever you are, that refers to like embracing racial differences, but that could be interpreted to be a supportive toward trans people statement. So I wonder if you can even say in these places, oh, be who you are, be true to yourself. Uh-oh, that's indoctrination. Wee-oo. And finally, the last one being shown today, it would force teachers to out trans students to their parents if a student, quote, expresses discomfort or confusion about their gender or asks for a change in pronouns. And it requires this within 24 hours. So compelling the speech of teachers to forcibly out children. And as we've discussed quite recently, the reason why that's bad is because if a kid is coming out to their teacher and not to their parents is because the kid has probably accurately identified that their parent would react negatively to this information. So you're taking away the safety of children by potentially exposing them to abusive conditions. But again, these Republicans want parents to beat the hell out of their trans kids until they stop acting trans outwardly. Like, that's basically what these people want, is for there to be extreme consequences, whether it's social consequences, you know, whether you get kicked out of your house and learn the lesson, or whether they take away your phone and take you out of school, like happened to Leila Alcorn, who passed away like 10 years ago this year. Or no, it was longer ago than that, like 12 years ago now. Leila Alcorn. In America, removing the gender-neutral bathrooms could be a no longer ADA compliant issue. Yeah, it was when I was still in high school, for sure. I think it was like 2011 or so. Jim Crow for trans people. So, yeah, these bills are going to be heard in 2 separate hearing rooms, started at 1 p.m. today. And, yeah, they're going to probably try to push them through anyway. This is the thing, you know, it's really great to see how many people show up in support of trans people, support of trans kids. And we've already seen repeatedly across the country that expert testimony is being actively ignored. Or like, you know, in Ohio, there was a suggestion that there should be an amendment to put together a committee of doctors who will really study the issue and help inform the congressional body what they should do. And the Republicans were like, nah, we're good. We don't care about anything you say. We don't need to know anything that you know. Doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter what the truth is, as per usual. It just matters that they have an agenda that they want to push through. And that agenda is fuck trans people. Like, That's the whole thing. That's the entire deal. Hmm. There is an organization fighting against these bills that did say, quote, we started last year's legislative session. They said, quote, we started last year's legislative session hearing 9 anti-LGBTQ plus bills with a House hearing that lasted over 9 hours. We'll do that again tomorrow if necessary to make them listen to their constituents. As much as trans people are the center of the culture war today, I like to think Leila Alcorn would be proud to see where trans awareness and acceptance is right now compared to 12 years ago. Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, Leila Alcorn was a trans girl who was like 17 when she took her life because her parents like found out that she was trans, and they did the whole like, yeah, taking her phone away, taking away her internet access, not allowing her to see her friends, just like extreme social isolation. And yeah, she posted in her last farewell that she was like hoping that the world would be better for trans kids in the future. And yeah, I don't know. I like to think that she would have been a fierce advocate if she had, just gotten over that one last year before she turned 18, like she was 17. So, but, maybe she's not the kind of person who would have become an activist. Maybe she's the kind of person who just wanted to live a normal life and she was not being allowed to do that. Trans people shouldn't be required. They should be, like, we should be able to be soft and not have to care about this stuff and be able to focus on other things. And that's the world that we want to fight for. That's the world that we're trying to get to, is one where the next generation don't have to deal with this, or like fewer people have to deal with this. I'm sure that there's still going to be deeply religious Christian families who are like not cool with the trans or whatever, and you can't like forcibly reprogram those people or whatever. You just have to try to support their children until they're able to express their autonomy. And try to, provide folks with resources and try to provide folks with knowledge and positive examples as well. Particularly for the trans youth, you want them to see people fighting back. You want them to see people saying, no, this is not right, and we are trying to help you. You need adults to be accomplices to the trans teens, like the young folk. Trans people don't spontaneously become trans when they turn 18. It's like a thing about people and who they are. So we know that, a lot of the time if you allow kids the space, they will tell you what their gender is by around 3 or 5 years old, because that's like when you psychologically develop that part of your personality effectively. Yeah. So we just have to keep trying for them. It is worth it for them to keep trying. One of my best friends who is trans is unclockable and always tells me she's feeling guilty that she's not at the front lines. I tell her to live her life and not feel guilty. That's the goal. If you can do it, you should. Yeah, I don't begrudge people. If people are stealth and they're living their life and they don't have to talk about this, I'm like, good. You should be able to just live your fucking life. You should be able to just be an actress and not be like, ooh, she's the trans one. Or you should be able, yeah, you should be able to do any number of things. But we don't even live in a world yet where you can be a woman who does a job and have it not be, like, ooh, a woman CEO. That's still like, ooh, girl boss. It's still noteworthy. And there are going to be people out there who are upset about it. So, as far as gender equity goes, we've got a long way to go, not just for trans people. Whoa. No. Finding random stuff on the floor. I think that conservatives focusing so hard on this will end up meaning that once they lose the war on the trans issue, things may end up better for trans people than if they had just ignored it. Not sure if that's accurate, and I definitely wouldn't say it's a good thing all this is happening, but still maybe something to hope for. I think that the thing that is so obnoxious about the whole situation is that things were going pretty well for trans people before. Like, we were on a gradual slope toward acceptance. We were working our way there. Like, if I had really pressed my dad, he might have taken me to a therapist to specifically help me figure out my trans stuff, but I moved out before we could really talk about any of that stuff in greater depth. Excuse me. There are people my age and younger who started when they were teenagers, like who started hormones when they were younger. There are people older than me who started hormones when they were younger, or like, you know, maybe they even socially transitioned when they were 5 or 6, and then they grew up and transitioned, you know? Things, and like, trans people were using the bathroom with no problem. There were no laws about trans people in bathrooms until 2016, when this whole thing started in North Carolina with Gavin Grimm. Like, this is a very sudden kind of, obviously, and yes, trans people were being made fun of in movies. They were the butt of the joke societally throughout the like 70s, 80s, and 90s. And I'm not saying that that wasn't a problem and that that wasn't bad. But as far as legal access and recognition, things have been gradually getting better. In the state of Kansas, where I live, they made it a few years ago, quite recently, they expanded the law to like make it to where trans people can change the sex on their birth certificate. Still no option for an X on that document, but that you could change it, right? And now they revoked it like, what, maybe 5 years after having changed it before, within 5 years of having changed it before. So yeah, it's quite strange that things were going pretty okay for trans people, and then now it's all of a sudden a problem. It hasn't been a problem. The entire 30 years of my life has not been a problem. They just made up an issue. I had never really been political before around 2021 and don't know any trans people in my life, so that colors my perception of things. All I see is people like me going from neutral to pro-trans, specifically because the conservatives are doing all this. But if you say things were actually better before, I believe you. Yeah, well, okay. So yes, trans acceptance and awareness is higher, probably. But there was something nice about not having it be on everybody's mind all the time, right? Mia Mulder talked about this in a video that she uploaded a few years ago, where she was talking about how she used to pass better before all these conversations about transness entered the public zeitgeist. There are trans people who were previously basically going unnoticed in their day-to-day lives, who suddenly the fact that they're a very tall woman is of concern. Like, people are like, oh, ooh, weird. Oh, she's got really big hands too. You know, the transvestigation thing starts to happen because of the awareness. Unironically, I think the biggest thing about being trans that made me depressed when I was a kid was knowing that the world would never take me seriously. I'd never be able to get a job. I'd get beaten up if any particularly violent person saw me, and I had nobody to share in my identity with and find solidarity with. So in 2024, there's still a lot of risk to being trans in regards to employment and violence, but now the world is more aware of people like me. We're so much more accepted. Yeah, I guess you could say that as well. Like, there was still the risk of not being able to get a job if you didn't pass well enough. So, yeah, I'm not going to decry the idea that things could get better. Obviously, we want to see things get better. That's the goal. I think it's going to be a bit of a generational thing and an exposure thing. The more exposure we get, the more trans acceptance we get. There's going to be a temporary backlash, hopefully, that will die out eventually. We'll see. Yeah, no worries, Diviny. Oh, goodness gracious. We did some news. We've talked about some news. I think this is the most amount of anti-trans bills that have been heard in one day. I'm not sure, though. We can say it is. We're setting records. OMG. Oh, goodness. Have some cute MLP woofs. Oh my goodness. This is My Little Pony style. Puppers. There's some puppers. I don't know any of their names. I think this one's Rainbow Dash. Is this one like Pinkie Pie? I've been exposed to just enough of the internet to know. That one is Fluttershy. Okay, yes, there's butterflies there. That makes sense. I don't know anything. Don't worry, y'all. Soon World War III and US Civil War will be here, and people will stop talking about trans stuff for a couple years, maybe. Yeah, the whole... Listen, I think you might have... I don't know if you were joking when you said World War III, but, like... I mean, literally, Israel is bombing Lebanon right now. Is that not the case? Am I... Like, is that not happening? They're like, bombing Lebanon. And the United States bombed Yemen. Like, this has all the makings of a global conflict. And, like, I am kind of curious how Israel will retaliate when, inevitably, the international court finds them guilty of genocide. Because I've been kind of paying a little bit of attention to the proceedings on... It's the ICJ, I think. Is it just the International Court of Justice? That would be kind of funny. But yeah, I don't know... Like, I feel like they're going to retaliate. Is the ICJ as bad as the U.S. courts, though? Like, so my prediction is that the ICJ will convict them. I don't know what consequence happens after that. Like, I don't know what the community, the international community, does if a country is found guilty of genocide. I'm not really sure what mechanisms kick in, but I think that if they are... Like, I think that the evidence is overwhelming that they are committing a genocide, right? So I think that the court would have to be deeply, deeply, deeply corrupt in order for that to be how things go down. So I'm expecting that they will be found guilty, and I am curious, and I think that they probably will retaliate meaningfully. And that I think that the U.S. is going to be on their side. Because we just bombed Yemen. You know? Like... My Little Pony is so much nicer now that the fandom is no longer creepy right-wing men and is instead just cringe fandom girlies. MLP fandom more queer now than it used to be. I have never been involved. My dad was kind of a brony back in the day, and I was like, cool, you can do that where you live, and I'm not going to ask you about it at all. If they're found guilty, it does provide more consequence than the UN resolution because of Israel taking an oath with other countries to accept any findings by the ICJ. Okay. Outside the US and maybe Germany, my understanding is that pretty much all governments hate Israel. I mean, literally, every country in the world called for a ceasefire, except for the US, who vetoed the ceasefire request at the UN. I want a cold hard cider. I don't know that I've ever... I'm sure that I've had alcoholic cider once, maybe, but not in a very long time. Did you guys see the Irish representative at the UN, like, telling off Biden? She's done cool stuff like telling people off before, that I've seen. I don't remember if we talked about it on the show or not. did. Yeah, I did. Let's watch this. And I'll rest my voice for about 20 seconds. Whee! Headphones. Oh, by the way, it came up a while ago, and I can't remember who it was who said they wanted one, but I'm working on a project right now. Excuse me. So this is about to be like a mushroom pillow, like a mushroom. It's supposed to go on your couch. And there's gonna be 2 of them, and I'm gonna post them for sale on my merch store. Because I figure I can make handmade things and throw them up on the merch store occasionally. They're gonna be expensive. Just so that you know that. Like, if I post handmade shit on my merch store, it's gonna be expensive. So, yeah, but it's gonna be a cute little thing. Look at it. It's gonna be so adorable. Yeah, the Irish tend to not like Israel. They're weirdly anti-colonialism. No idea why. Real fungus hours, true. So, this is like, you know, bisexual mushroom. Padfoot's mom says that's pretty. Thank you. I think I might turn it inside out when I'm ready to finish it. Like, it might just look a little bit more smooth that way. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. I just wanted to show it off real quick. I'm making my way downtown. I kind of want a plush room. Yeah. This is basically going to be a mushroom plushie, but it's not like that's... It's not very soft, for sure. This is acrylic, so it's not very soft. But it's fun colors, so I bought 2 skeins of it, and it's cute. So, if anybody wants to spend like $75 plus shipping, I haven't actually decided how expensive they're going to be, but they're going to be expensive because I'm only making those 2, and that's it. Does Ireland still do conversion therapy? I don't know, actually. Did I show you my autism bunny? You have an autism bunny? I kind of want to make you a bunch of small/medium fleece mushrooms. Is that when you do this? Or is that felting? That, you know, you do this with the needle and you poke it in? Bunny. Oh, he's so cute. And he's autistic. Look at him. Oh, he's a bunny. He looks very soft. That is felting. Okay. Fleece is a different thing. Okay. I have no idea then. Fleece is just a common fabric for plushies. I see. I do love mushrooms. It's true. They're very cute. Okay. Let's watch this fun video that will be fun. Okay, let me make sure my volume is good.
Despite the catastrophic death toll it has inflicted, Israel is losing on the ground and in the court of public opinion. There's no way that this ends that doesn't leave Israel a pariah state with occupation and apartheid on borrowed time, and they know it. So they're doing everything they can. Desperate acts of aggression to provoke a wider conflict with Lebanon, with Iran, with anybody, to draw in the US, to save them from the consequences of their own actions. And as Yemen shows, Butcher Biden is reporting for duty. With Europe's proud genocide by his side, they are the ones who have enabled the continuation of Israeli terror. Without them, it would already be over. So take note, Butcher Biden. The ancestors of the Ireland that you claim to be from disown you. Keep our country out of your mouth. And as for von der Leyen and genocidal Germany, with your words and deeds supporting Israel in the ICJ, not in our name. The people of Europe stand with Palestine and with South Africa.
Oh, man. I have nothing to say. I have no notes. I have nothing. She's so good. Like, she's amazing. Yeah, girl boss, true. She's calling out to Biden's inner Irishman. Absolute queen shit. She's my favorite. Take notes, Butcher Biden, Mama Bald. Oh Oh man, what is her name? Oh god, I don't know. I retweeted her. She is Claire Dolly.
Despite the catastrophic death...
No. Shush. Claire Dolly. Like this. Claire Dolly. D-A-L-Y. Or Claire Dolly. I don't know how the fuck you say it. She's just such an absolute powerhouse. I adore her. Straight up, we disown you. He does. It's so interesting that Biden is an Irish Catholic, and I was just thinking about that recently, is that, you know, it's quite interesting because usually, historically in the United States, Catholics are not liked very much. It seems like there's less of that nowadays. Of course, the serious white supremacists are still on that view that, like, Catholics and Irish are, like, subhuman, basically. But it seems like we just do a lot less of that sentiment nowadays. It's a very small portion of U.S. presidents who've been Catholic. It's kind of interesting that the types of narratives that we have in these political discussions, like the types of discussions that we have, are so different than they were like 50, 60 years ago. Because Biden being Catholic would have been noteworthy like 50, 60 years ago. Yeah, if Irish people aren't white, who is actually white? Nobody's paler than the Irish. It's because it's an ideology. The group gets smaller and smaller, you see. Yeah, no worries. Later, Davini, have a good night, and good luck with your interview tomorrow. Gotta debate the interviewer into allowing me to make them money. True. Get it. Get that bread. Get that bread. Oh gosh, y'all. This might end up... Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and do Cats Are Liquid. You know, let's enjoy the last bit of our stream and do a little bit of gaming, and we might stop at like 7:30 tonight. But we have a little bit more energy. Oh, dude, I started playing Hades again, which, like, perfect timing, just in time for the fucking sequel to come out. I'm gonna start playing the first game more seriously. So I started playing Hades, and the first time I sat down and played it this week, I got further than I had gotten at any previous playthrough when I played it like 2 years ago. So that was a fun time. That was good. I enjoyed. I play with the shield in Hades. That's what I have decided to do. Okay, so we last did the green world, which was world 4. So we need to move on and do world 5, which is purple, I think. So yeah, we'll play a little Cats Are Liquid to round out the stream. I really like the spear in Hades. I'm gonna sure have to try the other weapons out at some point, because I'm like, oh, I like the shield. I like the fact that you can throw it and it will bounce around. Or like, maybe you'll throw it and it'll do chain lightning if you get... I specifically like to do the shield with a Zeus synergy. I like to get as many Zeus blessings as possible. Oh my god, why is this so loud? I would like you to be quieter. Thank you. And also, a bigger resolution, please. Go full screen. No, I don't really want it to be full screen. No. Okay, I guess it's fine for it to be full screen. Does anyone else think that this Arctic storm might be another mass egg cracking event? Yeah, I don't know. Anytime people are stuck inside, it seems to result in some things happening. Okay, I have no idea how loud that was. So... And apparently I can't. Wait, hold on, I have to take it off full screen, and then I'll be able to see how loud it is? Nope, hold on. Yeah, that's so loud. That's better. Ares has a great synergy with the spear. Okay. I'll have to try that out at some point. Okay, come back, chat. Realizing my gender got transed in the other direction during the COVID pandemic. I started being a he-it in 2021-ish. True. We're having fun. Okay. Cats are liquid. World 5 is the purple one. Yeah, and I don't think that we played this one before. I have played through World 7, but that was like 7 years ago, so... No. That was like 8 or 9 years ago. God. Okay, let's go. The floor under her was disappearing. Wait, we didn't do this one already, did we? Maybe we did. I don't know. Wait, how do I... Okay. No, I don't think that I have done this yet. She just noticed that the colors changed again. Did this mean she could get out now? No. You need to learn your lesson, kitty cat. She's not a very smart girl, I will say. I don't remember all of the controls anymore. It hasn't even been that long since I played. Wait, there's like... I can like float? I should be able to float. I can't... Hold on. What are the controls? Wait. I don't remember the buttons. Oh, it's this button. Okay, it's Q. Q. There we go. Now I'm up. No. Is there an easier way for me to do that? Why is it Q? That's a terrible button. Okay. Later, mama! No, fail. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna game right when you have to go, Trin. Sorry. Oh god, yeah, those like to stick to me, don't they? No, please go away. Oh god, those things are so sticky. Fly a bunch in this level. Whee! Great, thank you. Whoa, go away. Get away from me. Whoa. That's lucky. This is, like, more challenging than you would think, just because of how weird my left hand has to be configured in order to, like, do anything. Whee! Oh, there we go. Through room 1. It's a cute little platformer. It's a simple little platformer, and I appreciate that about it. You know, it's not really trying to be anything that it's not. It just wants to be cute. It just wants you to like it. Oh my god, where am I going? Wait. Is that not where I'm supposed to go? I hear music, but I can't see game stuff. Oh, did I not switch over? It wants me to go through here, but I don't know how, because I will die. No. Okay. So... This is where I'm supposed to go, but it's... There's nowhere for me to go down here? Okay, well, I'm stumped, gamers. How do I turn that off? Like, all of the orange stuff is supposed to be bad for you to touch, you know? There's a 100 on the screen. What's the 100 for? Okay, well that didn't work. I was like, if I'm in a different, shape, would it work? No. Different form factor, you might say? 9. Danka. No cat die. Yeah, she's gonna die. Like, a lot. I don't understand, and this part is pretty annoying. What is that 100 there for? I don't think that there's something that I, like, learned in the 4th one. Or do I need to go back? Hold on. Maybe we just need to go back to the... Hold on. No. Is it the... I thought that we did the 4th world. Okay, maybe the color... She was getting close to the exit, maybe? Because the colors changed again? No, you need to learn. Maybe we didn't do this green one before. I can't remember. Doesn't matter, we'll do it now. Because I feel like I was supposed to have some ability that I didn't know about. So, whoa, oops. Okay, this does feel like maybe we didn't do it before on stream, so it's all good. Oops, no. Okay, oh yeah, I got some new ability. Okay, now what is this? I wiggle the butt. Okay, it just made that go away. Wiggle, 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 wiggle the butt. Okay, cool. She saw the gray square and wasn't sure what to think of it. Yeah, there was a gray square over there. Is it a dead one? It couldn't jump, so she had to carry it. Wait, I need to go carry the gray square? I need this? Okay, I need it. It just told me. It was like, hey, make sure you don't leave without that. You need it. Press B? Am I supposed to be doing this with a controller? Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, I'm supposed to be doing this with a controller, apparently. Okay, now... Okay, this is the floaty button. This is the downy button. Okay, good. Okay, and this is the become square button. Oh, that's why there's a timer now. I see. Because I have 100 seconds to be him. Delicious. Okay, wait. I pressed a button. What happened to the button? Where did anything go? I did press the button. Did it open something over here? I bet it opened something over here. No, stop it. Give it back. Okay, yes, and now there is an exit. Excellent. Wow, look at that. Nope. Oops, I keep pressing that when I want to bounce. Okay, and now I become square. Oh, I only have, like, 100 seconds for the whole thing. The whole level. He decided to keep it. To keep the thing around. Nice. Good call. Whoa, nope, not what I wanted. what really hurts, Beth says, is the trans hate from the LGBT community who are gay, lesbian, and got theirs but are turning against ours. Or potentially the trans people like Blair White who hate us for monetary reasons. Yeah, it's really always disappointing. It's dangerous to go alone. When people you expect to know better are not knowing better, right? Like, it's always... They're like, oh, you should get it, you're gay, you should get it. Like, obviously the rhetoric that they're using against trans women is the same rhetoric that was used against homosexual men for, like, a huge portion of history. So, it's really almost kind of unfathomable that they could be so dumb. And, like, the attitude of, screw you, I got mine, is always pretty disappointing from anyone. But, yeah, people who you expect to be allied with you. And because as much as some gay people and even some straight people like to say, like, unfortunately, I guess on some level, gay rights and trans rights are heavily entwined with one another. And those historical struggles have been shared. It's not like one of us... You know, usually in a society that is homophobic, there's also transphobia. And a society that is transphobic is also often homophobic. I don't know how often you might see it that a society will be homophobic but not transphobic. Unless they're just on the way to broader social acceptance. I could see that being the case. Like, for example, with us, where we were more gay accepting for a bit. And then now that's sort of sliding back somewhat. It's really interesting trying to talk about politics while playing a video game. And I'm not saying I dislike it. I think it's kind of amusing, actually. Like, how many different ways can I split my focus and attention today? Come back to me, friend. Yum, 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 yum. The cat wondered where the square came from. Get away from me, I am liquid. Okay. And how did it sense the world around itself? It's telepathic. Karen. What? Iraq isn't trans-inclusive? What about Iraq? What? Oh, weirdly, there are trans-inclusive homophobic societies. I think that what Violet is saying is that there are some societies that will permit you... Come on, please. That they will, like... Not permit you. There are some countries that are so homophobic that they will prefer you to transition. It was just a square after all, yeah. I've heard that there are some places where they will prefer you to transition and be a degenerate in that way, rather than being homosexual. Oh, shoot, I need to go back over here. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to get this guy very, very, very carefully. Got him. And I didn't get hurt. Yeah, you're allowed to be trans, you just have to be straight. Meow. Cool. They'll still discriminate against you, like, a lot, yeah. But it is still interesting that they will be, like, cool. Allegedly, that on paper, they're... Whoa, okay. Accidente. On paper, they will be more cool with trans people than gay people. Trans-inclusive doesn't necessarily mean trans-accepting. think there is kind of an implication that that's what it means, but I don't think it necessarily has to, for sure. Okay, try not to run straight into a firewall this time. Like, if you have the ability to change your documentation, that place might be trans-inclusive on that grounds, but still be, like, trans, not particularly accepting. Because there is also a difference between, like, the government versus, like, the individual people. Is there something controlling the square? I don't know, Kitty. Is there? I guess from her perspective, it just decides to go do things. Whoa. Boing. I keep wanting to jump with the X button, and that's not how this works. No, that's not how it works. Is there even a jump button? Yeah, there is a jump button on its own. The cat needed to throw the square upwards. Okay, well, thank you for telling me that. Boing. Boing. Hey. Boing. Does it need to be on my head? There we go. I did it. Yay. There are literally people who say they aren't misogynists by saying they are pro-trans people. From what I've read, trans people in Iran basically have to be stealth and very gender-conforming to live a normal life. Yeah, that's not too abnormal from what a lot of trans people deal with across the world. So yeah, but it's like the government can be trans-inclusive while the culture is still... Can you... Excuse me. Sorry. Can you please... I'm so frustrated with this right now. Okay, thank you. No, please get away from me. I hate them. Stop sticking to me, please. No, go away. This is tricky. Does the thing jump? Can it jump? No, this can't jump. Okay, I did it. This room was huge! Oh no. It's a large room. It just kept continuing. This room is just never ending, apparently. Okay. Was she ever going to get out? Probably not. Go up. Oh, finally an exit. Okay, get away from me. Okay. I'm gonna send my little dude to do reconnaissance. Nope, he can't jump. Never mind. No, please stop. I hate this. Do I have to gently float through here? Nope. Not gonna work very well. If that is what I am supposed to do. Nope. But he can't jump. Oh, he can kind of do that. Okay. That's something. He's so derpy. Look at him. I'm personifying a square right now. I'm like, look at this cute square. No, it's not what I meant to do. Butts. Get skills, I know. I need to get wrecked, son. Get good, son. This was weird. Oh my god, I am so annoyed at the fact that the buttons don't make any fucking sense in this game. Stop not making sense, buttons. Oh my god. Transphobia, homophobia, misogyny, etc. all cut from the same cloth. I recently hypothesized that the underlying thing that connects them all together is, in fact, ableism. Some people responded to that by saying, actually, the thing at the root of all of it is, shitballs, is, capitalist insistence on production, which I thought was a really interesting theory. Yeah, I don't see the connection. Are you saying me? Oh, yeah, like, a lot of misogynistic beliefs are predicated on the idea that women are biologically, physically inferior, which is ableist, like, oh, they are not as big and strong. They're inferior because they're less able. The orange rectangles were inside the floor. A lot of racial commentary is also ableist because it's like, oh, this person, oh, you can't even drive. That's an incompetence, like ableism, or like you're meant to be doing physical labor, you know. That is also a belief that people have about, like, black folks. Or, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think that I think it's hate first, rationalization second. Yeah, but it's like, yeah, like, a lot of the reasons that people give are fundamentally, like, these people aren't as good, like, they aren't as smart, they aren't as capable. You know, the implication. Are you kidding me? Wow, that's way too long without a checkpoint. You know, like, the implication... Shit, I don't even know what I was about to say. I'm so fucking mad about that I don't even know what I was trying to say. Okay, stop. Yeah, that was a really long time to not have a checkpoint. I think that's fucking bullshit, TBH. Okay, that was a little bit faster. Nope, shit. No! Ah! Oh my god. Okay. Okay, there's my checkpoint. Missed it before somehow. Okay, we're making progress. I think I may have just gone the wrong direction. Okay. Now we got it figured out. Spirited conversation in the chat. Love you guys. Be good. Be nice to each other. Rip in pieces. My microphone shaft is exactly in the way of where my character is on the screen right now. Okay. That was a lot of fun. Cat was thinking about the gray square. Should I just try to get it? I should just go get it. sci-fi and fantasy tropes about races and species are all just very weak playing of racism-based stereotypes. Yeah, I mean, I do think that is one of the places where fantasy shines, is that they're able to deal with allegories about things like race, in a sort of indirect manner. Why did it shut down the fire? I don't know. That's a good question, babe. She's the sweetest little kitty cat. If D&D races are all weird racist allegories, then which ones are the dragonkin? I don't think they can all be racist allegories. Like, I don't think that that's tenable. Whoa, shit, okay. Okay, the cat is entrapped inside the box now. Needed to get out. And, like, I don't know enough about the racial, like, abilities and traits of the Dragonborn in order to be able to say, where was the square? Oh yeah, where is the square? Do I not have Buddy this time? Oh shit, I do have Buddy this time. But I wanted to come over here and click this, and now I can go here. He's got a square now. Okay, now I'm free. Sounds like secret code. The cat is in the box. I repeat, the cat is in the box. It's funny because cat and box are both terms that can be used to refer to a vagina. Haha, isn't that funny? So it's like vagina in a vagina. Haha. Oh, how close are we to the end? Getting close, I hope. A nice chill time, but man, puzzle platformers are a thing that I can only do in short bursts. I did it. Okay. There had to be a reason why the square was helping her. Yeah, there's a gray square, and then there's all these orange squares. He defected. He's the one stormtrooper that decided to defect. His name is Finn. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, it says go up, but it also says go to the right. So that's confusing. Wait, do I have to go up and he goes to the right? Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Hello. There we go. Cleared the ceiling in here. Oops. No. Oh wait. Ah, come on, get off of me. Okay, I got a checkpoint. Excellent. That's fucking great. Ah! Okay. Baby steps. The track just repeated. Okay, oh, it's the nighttime level. Meow. Oh man, going deeper doesn't help. Oh, the nighttime levels are so fucking cool. Oops. Oh, I'm not over there yet. Whoa. It may feel like it right now, but after a while, it'll become clearer to you. Wait. Okay, that was a short one. Alright, now we're on the next thing. Cool. Cool, alright. Hello, Lord Byron, welcome in. The Mimic, as we now know it, is abstracted to. Read some of the older RPG books and it's pretty explicit. What are the mimics supposed to be? Oh, Violet's claiming that the entire idea of a mimic being a trap by impersonating something that adventurers want is obviously a perpetuation of the trans mythology of trans people. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit of a stretch. It is very much a fae thing, like something pretending to be something else in order to eat people. Interesting conversation that y'all are having, though. Harpies. I don't know why I love the lore of the harpy. Oh, Christ almighty, dude. Oh, man. It was fun. Genuinely never heard of old fantasy fae representing queer folk, partly because those legends, I think, predate modern ideas of queerness. I was always under the impression that, you know, changelings were definitely a thing about autistic people, but yeah, I don't know. History is so interesting, isn't it? Some of the older myths were oddly respectful of transhumans. I mean, wasn't Loki like a shapeshifter? I don't know. A lot of that stuff is so hard to tell because the records have not, like, you know, like people weren't necessarily writing things down. Or if they were, they haven't lasted through to the present day. So it's like, I think a lot of the information that we have about, and like, not only that, but people like to LARP about these different, you know, Norse religion or pagan religions. Like, people like to LARP about it so much that there's inevitably going to be misinformation, essentially, you know? We know that Loki had 3 children, 2 from a giantess, and he gave birth to 1 in the form of a woman, when he was in the form of a woman. Nice. Well, y'all, it's a little bit shorter than usual, but, you know, I think that was still a decent stream. We did a lot of chilling, we did a lot of talking, we did some politics, we did some gaming. So, I think that we'll call that a successful stream, and call it for tonight. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Everybody who donated, thank you so much for your donos. I hope that you had a good time. Staying informed while also trying not to give in to the despair. So, yeah, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you on Sunday, unless something happens. OMG,